What's up, ladies and gents? Today I got some interesting, crazy, wild TikToks that I found scrolling, and some of my buddies sent me some. So hopefully y'all enjoy the footage on today. Hopefully all is well with everyone. If like, comment, subscribe, and if you new, hopefully you like what we do, and let's jump right into it.
Earth is separating. We're going to be going into a totally different dimension by raising the frequencies and vibration. Earth is separating. We're going to be going into Earth is separating. We're going to be going into a totally different dimension by raising the frequencies and vibrations of the Earth. It will shift into a new dimension. And this is the greatest show on Earth, because they said all the beings and all the universes are watching, because this has never happened to in any universe anywhere, that an entire planet will shift into a new dimension. And when this happens, it's like two Earths, as though they split. The old Earth is left behind with all the negativity and all the chaos, and the new Earth separates, and it will be totally new and beautiful. Now, those who have raised the vibrations and frequencies of their bodies will shift into the new Earth.
What are y'all thoughts behind that? I've heard that before, that, we might be leaving this plane of existence. Things for certain individuals might be totally different. Do y'all think it's going to be felt by everyone, like, a biblical type event? Or do you think it would just be like, oh, well, I just woke up and I'm here? Or do you think is she misleading? I don't know, but it's a very interesting theory, so, but let's jump right back into it.
Ever talked to John McAfee like this, and he always won everything, right? I mean, he won about everything. But this time I knew I had him, so I said, "Sir, I just want to let you know something." He goes, "What is it, son?" I said, I'm gonna freaking steamroll you. Do you understand me? He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I think you forgot. You owe me 30% of everything. Okay, I want that. I don't want any, but I don't want your cars and your houses. But I think you made a big mistake with me. I own you, John. I own your cars. I own your houses. I own everything about you." I said, "So I'm going to steamroll if you don't pay me in 24 hours. And he goes, "Are you done?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." And he was like, "Now you listen up." And I was like, "Oh God, but what could he have done to win? There's nothing, right?" He says, "Your pretty little wife." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "She signed everything over to me with your power of attorney."
Advisor is a conspiracy.
Well, dang. That's the way you get somebody, right? Yeah, like, okay, you think you got one over on me? I backdoored you already. Your wife was in the nest already. She already did the do, champ. That's crazy work. That's crazy work, y'all. Man, be careful who y'all mess with. Be careful.
That involves the Vatican. This man, who was a monk in Italy named Pellegrino Ernetti, and he had this skill set of restoring old Gregorian chants. And he was working with this other guy who was his boss. And then the guy who he was working with, the guy heard his father's voice. And he's like, "That sounds like my dad," this frequency that was coming in. He heard his father talking about shining shoes or a shoe repair or something. He's like, "That is my father," because he was a cobbler. They're able to tap into this whole past life. And so that got Father Pellegrino to start doing research into what he called residual energy. He theorized that could be detected. He went back, fragments had remained, and no one knew what the play was. He went back and was able to watch the whole play and write down the entire play.
That is nuts,
and so
dude.
They went to the Pope with it, and the Pope said, "You have to get rid of it." He said, "This is way too dangerous to have." Supposedly, they dismantled it, but there's a lot of people theorizing that the Vatican still has it, they still use it, and potentially the CIA is involved in it.
Breaking news. China has successfully ignited its first artificial sun, the HL-3 tokamak, in Hefei, reaching a staggering 120 million degrees. While this breakthrough in nuclear fusion is being hailed as a significant achievement, experts are warning about the potential for catastrophic consequences if this immense energy source spirals out of control. The HL-3 tokamak harnesses intense magnetic fields to contain superheated plasma, far hotter than the sun itself. If the delicate balance of these fields were to collapse, the resulting energy release could lead to a meltdown on an unprecedented scale. Such an event could cause massive electromagnetic pulses, taking down power grids and leaving major cities in darkness. The aftermath of such a failure would be far-reaching. Uncontrolled plasma would spread hazardous radiation, poisoning air, water, and land. The environmental destruction would be severe, making large areas uninhabitable and threatening lives across entire regions. Beyond the immediate hazards, this technology's potential instability recalls past energy disasters, such as the Chernobyl and Fukushima nuclear accidents. While those involved fission reactors, the lessons about the dangers of uncontained energy remain relevant. A failure within the HL-3 reactor could lead to a disaster of a different kind, but with similarly devastating consequences for both the environment and human health. If a containment breach occurred,
What's up, bro?
the destruction of critical communication systems could disrupt entire societies. Essential networks like transportation, finance, and healthcare would grind to a halt, triggering a chain reaction of crises across the globe. Given these risks, the focus now must be on ensuring the safety of nuclear fusion advancements to avoid repeating the tragic mistakes of past energy catastrophes.
Showed over 100 people, and I kept asking myself, how are all of us seeing the same thing?
Oh my god, it changing shapes right there.
The laser was revealing numbers and letters running in a pattern.
Pyramid's like this big here, and it looks like code.
It looked like programming code.
It's definitely saying something, Pen. I just want to take a picture of it and translate it. Wow.
You see that?
Okay, so yeah, it's not stuck.
No.
It's not because of the light.
No, it's on its own side. Light is just literally revealing it.
And each angle shows you different layers, different ways through it.
I can see through the wall. It's not like a hallucination. It has spatial awareness and permanence. I don't know. Whoa.
For centuries, mankind has attempted to explore these psychedelic, altered states, but we've never had a repeatable, testable phenomenon to observe until now.
Wow. It's like you can see through the laser into another dimension.
I mean, like, take yourself to that. Like, I just made a connection that nobody made before, which is a simple connection. The claim is, if you project a diffracted laser on the surface and you smoke DMT, you will see code running in surfaces. Yes, like in the Matrix.
Well, there are a few possibilities. One,
I lost my mind, which is the coolest losing your mind ever in history.
the second option is that this is the biggest discovery of humankind. If anybody ever asked themselves what it would be like to know you live in the Matrix for sure, well, I know for sure. I'm convinced.
He'd be driving and suddenly he'd be...
That's some wild stuff right there. Man, I mean, you gotta take some DMT to even see all that. So they gotta do a study. So why don't you see it without the DMT? Is the DMT causing a hallucination, or is it waking you up or enhancing certain senses? I really wonder. They need to do more studies on that. I don't know. I gotta be there to see it. But I mean, if you on some drugs, that's where things kind of go out the window, don't it?
like 20, 19, 18. He'd like pull over to the side of the road, and that was my cue that I was supposed to get out of the car and then run, basically. And I was supposed to evade him. And so it was like for a timed period of like 2 or 3 hours, I would be trying to run away from him while he tracked me. And if he caught me, I would get punished. Like my rib cage is covered in these scars because he...
It sounds like this one movie. Girl was marrying a dude, and they told her she got to survive the night. she ended up surviving the night, and then like the curse or something happened and they all got dragged somewhere. I think some demon or something came. I forgot what it was. She was supposed to marry the dude. It was some crazy movie, but that's what that sounds like. You running from a person for numerous hours. That's some diabolical work.
Would count coup. Back then, I got really proud of myself when I would get away from him, instead of realizing that I was being chased through the woods by somebody who killed children.
How many children did you watch him kill?
I can remember, well, him specifically, not the group 5.
So you physically watched him kill 5?
Yeah.
How many did you witness?
Probably 7 over the course of my life, I think. Yeah.
Teal thought of escaping, telling someone, anything to get out, but fear would stop her.
One of the first programs that was done on me like that, he had me breathing and then go through an elaborate visualization where he was walking me through my home, having just told, okay, you just told people about me and you just told people who you really are. So what do you see hanging from the rafters? I shrugged my shoulders. He goes, do you see that that's your mother? Do you see that her blood is all over the floor?
Teal knows many won't believe her. What she says is hard to confirm, but what she shares is also the focus of dozens of investigations around the country. Lieutenant Larry Jones, a former Boise police officer, was instrumental in a Department of Justice report on cult rituals. The report admits crimes like these are hard to prove, but says it is imperative that the cases be solved. In Teal's case, which she says was turned over to police, no charges have ever been filed.
I think that we're in a time where we have to open up to these a lot darker aspects of the human psyche. We have to admit that these things go on, and we have to provide ways for both sides of the equation to heal.
In most documented cases of ritual abuse, it's often close friends or family who commit the crime. Teal says the issue is bigger than anyone can ever imagine.
I think with every single case that we see coming out with this, people are more forced to accept the reality that this stuff occurs instead of just discrediting every single one of us, which has been the status quo for so long. It's really easy to write us off and say we're mentally ill. Most of us who go through these scenarios, we think that, you know, it's happening because we deserve it, or it's happening because we're evil, or some stupid thing like that. Sorry, I'm like...
You're okay. I know what many of you just heard is probably hard for you to believe, and I can tell you that I sat across from Teal for 3 hours, and I myself had a very hard time believing it. I did reach out to several mental health providers to see if Teal's behavior was consistent with the abuse that she described. None of them would go on camera to talk about it. Coming up in about 10 minutes, I'm going to ask Teal some tough questions about her claims, and you'll hear what she has to say.
You didn't know that you didn't know.
Now, first off, you know, I'm sorry that happened to her. If it happened to her, I don't know if things like that be happening to people, but that's some crazy work. You know, what is the purpose behind the rituals and different demonic type actions of these individuals? It's really mind-boggling for me, like, that you even would do something like that. But I guess everybody messed up in their own ways.
Part 9. 75% of the mass of a human brain is made up of a substance called myelin. And myelin is made up 100% by cholesterol. I'll leave it there. On a separate and completely unrelated subject, Alzheimer's never existed until 1979, and yet now it is one of the leading causes of death in Western societies. On a separate and completely unrelated subject, margarine was first invented in 1869, and it didn't gain popularity until the Second World War, when butter and other animal fats were scarce. It grew in popularity in the 50s, but by the 70s, the animal fats in it had been replaced with vegetable oils. I'll leave it there. On a separate and completely unrelated subject, a simple experiment to do at home is to take a slab of butter, a slab of vegetable margarine with no animal fats in, and a slab of plastic, and stick them all outside in your garden and have a look what happens. The margarine and the plastic will sit there for weeks. Nothing in nature will touch them. Try it. I'll leave it there.
And one thing I'm going to say to everybody that's watching this video, we have to have more investigative prowess when it comes to things we think we know and things we think we don't know. Because when it comes to our health, we have loved ones, people that care about us. And trust me, from personal experience, the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a situation you leave someone all alone to fend for themselves in this world. Because at the end of the day, you don't know who would do certain things to them and what the cause and effect would be. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's a lot of things that can make a person turn bad. And once they do the bad, they're going to be judged for it. So we really have to take care of ourselves so we could see our loved ones and people we care for hopefully go down the right path and have a great individual there to guide them along the path. So that's why I say, please take care of yourself. And sometimes just because the doctor says something don't mean it's always right. That's why they say go get a second opinion, correct? So make sure you keep that in mind and take care of yourself.
Say that again. You believe that the government is there to support you? Is that what you said?
No, I believe the government should be responsive to me. It works for me. It shouldn't be able to target me.
That's where we're fundamentally opposed to.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because the government does not work for us. That is not what
I'm saying. It should.
It should not. The government is there to ensure the continuation of the American ideal. That's the purpose of the government. It is not there to serve you.
That doesn't even mean anything, though, the American ideal.
The American ideal means everything.
What is that?
If every American is destroyed, if every American is killed, with the exception of the people in government, the president, whatever you want to call it, one congressperson, one senator, right, or one House member, one senator, and the president or the vice president, then the American government continues. America is defined not by its people, by its government. That's what we went to war with the British about. We could have been colonists, we could have been communities, we could have been people, we could have been collections. But the right to sovereign independence is a government thing. The government exists to survive and serve the continuation of the government of the United States, not the American people.
Wow.
That's part of the ideological hogwash that we were all taught in elementary school civics that just isn't true. They're not there to serve us. That's not what the purpose of government is. You swore an oath to protect and serve the Constitution of the United States. That is a document defining the government. A government of the people, by the people, for the people, but it's still a fucking government, not the people.
This cult may actually be stealing souls.
This is in Arizona?
This is in Arizona. And this really rich guy, he's a, what is it? He's a Rothschild. A Rothschild. He bought this town of Felicity and named it after his wife, Felicity.
Wait, is this real?
Who we think we ran into.
Can we make sure that this is real?
We visited it.
Go for tours of this place.
Oh, we did a tour. We did a horrifying.
Why?
They tried to get us in the center of the pyramid, in the center of the thing, put our foot in the middle, save this thing and make a wish and then sign a contract. And I was like, and we were like, I'm not doing that. And she was like, well, it's the only part of the tour you have to do. And they go to do the tour. And that's when we said, we don't want to do the tour anymore. We're going to leave. And she was pissed. And then they said, she goes, this right here is the center of the world.
This is in Arizona?
This is in Arizona. And this really rich guy, he's a, what is it? He's a Rothschild. A Rothschild. He bought this town of Felicity and named it after his wife, Felicity.
As always, thanks for watching. Stay weird.
I do think that there is.
I wonder, like, what is that about stealing souls? I mean, sometimes I think people like get taught something, maybe it's the hidden ones, alchemists, whoever, right? And they're taught things and they pass these things down, and you might experience something and you think, oh, this is true, but it could be just a whole bunch of hogwash. Like, yeah, it's just, fear mongering for sure.
The link between what we call psychic phenomena, telepathy, or psionics, as is the more neutral term that's used by the military and the defense community. I do believe that there is a connection between human psionic
abilities, telepathic, psychic abilities, and consciousness, and that the UAP phenomenon is tied into that. And I suspect this is one of the largest reasons for why this is being kept secret and for why the NHI are not overtly showing themselves. And my growing hypothesis...
Oh, side note, it just came back to me. Somebody asked me about astral projection. So when I was younger, I say I was probably somewhere between like the ages of like 6 to about 9. I was able to like do it frequently. And like all I'm gonna say is like I don't know like if it was a dream or not, but I'm pretty sure it happened. I like met something, we interacted, it showed me things, floated around. And the only reason I know is because like it was like real, because I had a dog and I felt like my dog woke up, looked up at both of us and started wagging her tail. Her name was Sabrina. Great dog. I miss her a lot. But it was very like, for me, it was overwhelming. It's really like something I don't talk about because a lot of times, see, I had a lot of abuse going on. So in my mind, my imagination was wild. It still is wild. So I try like certain things that I don't know. Like when you a kid, it's a different, like you in a whole different world. So it was really like for me overwhelming, interesting. I would just say like, I wouldn't say it was like fear I felt, but it was just like overwhelming amount of emotions, like being around this thing. We was navigating, bro. I was flying around. It was similar to like a Peter Pan experience. I saw so much stuff. Like I believe we went to space. Like I don't remember everything, but I remember bits and pieces. It was just, like I say, just certain parts, it was just weird. It was real weird. It might have been space. It could have been we went through another dimension. I don't know. It was very strange and interesting. Sometimes I don't know. Like I say, I don't know if it was his name was Carl. It was a lot of things. Cause I had an imaginary friend too. So it was just so much weird stuff during that time period for me. Like, and plus I try not to think about it too much. Cause like it was a time for me when my father was alive. So it really hit deep. If I think too deep about it, I start getting emotional because it's like very, very deep for me. But like I say, it was fun, like just moving around. Like I saw my body. It was like an experience that I cannot even describe. Even when it came to my dreams. No. But even when it came to my dreams, I was able to manipulate them. Like I was able to like fight with Goku, Gohan. Like it's so hard to explain. I know it sounds crazy. I was Superman because I had a big infatuation with like Smallville. So I was Clark Kent and that boy driving in that blue truck. You know what I'm saying? I was having a good time with Lana Lang. It was like, hey, like I say, I don't know, but it was just one of them things where I tell people, like, you really have to be careful with certain things. Cause like, maybe I was just lucky that I didn't stumble into something weird, but it was a good time though. I tell you that it was a good time. I wish I could do it again, but part of me scared because like being a kid and being a adult is two different worlds too. Like I wasn't say I was fearless, but I was very like, I'm willing now, but I was even more willing when I was a child, like to just take risks.
It's just a hypothesis because there's a few things I can't tell you right now that I'm going to be reporting on in coming weeks, and I'm very excited to be bringing you that story. But I do know that the Air Force has been working on psionics for many, many decades. They never stopped investigating the power of the human mind and consciousness ever since the Stargate program and the remote viewing program. I know It's been poo-pooed. I know there's a George Clooney movie based on John Ronson's book called The Men Who Stare at Goats. And I know all the supposed debunkers say it's BS. But I can tell you, it's not BS. I've seen it for myself, and it's real. And in forthcoming weeks, you will see why I say it's real. And I believe the United States Air Force has knowingly deceived Congress, successive presidents, and the American public and the world about what it knows for far too long. It's time for this story to be told. I think the NHI are showing themselves in our skies to twig our consciousness, to make us humans aware of capabilities that many of us don't even realise we have. And I've seen those capabilities demonstrated in recent months. I know they're real, and I frankly don't give a flying fig what the debunkers or the skeptics or the trolls would say about that. It's real, and they will soon be eating humble pie. The capacity for the human mind to engage externally with some kind of uber consciousness has been speculated about in science. Go and have a look at the work on microtubules. Let's have a look at what modern science is speculating about a quantum connection between the human brain and an external consciousness. That's where we're...
Is that like what y'all think he referring to, or a lower self, a higher self? Like, is that what he referring to? And like, I always had this feeling like I could do some Magneto stuff. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, you know how like when you riding a bike, I always had this feeling like, I don't know, like I could, levitate something. I know it sounds crazy, but I just always had this feeling like it's something blocking me from doing something very, very out of this world. He may be tripping and had me tripping, but at the end of the day, time would tell. No matter what we think, time would tell. And there's going to be a lot of people that's like, really, they not going to want to accept that level of truth. They're going to say it's whatever it is. But I tell you this, just me personally, I got to roll with what I can roll with. You know what I mean? I'm not, if I just see them drop down and I see the ground quake and rocks kick up and I see this big thing, at that point, I'm not going to say, well, that's a hologram. Yeah, they're going to take my soul. It's a hologram for sure, right? But at the end of the day, I'm just so excited regardless. I want to know the truth. Drop it. Let us know what it is. Show evidence. What's going on here? Why is there so much misleading information? Why? What is going on? Are we just on this rock bar? That's cool. We just on a rock bar ourselves, just tooting and booting it. It is what it is, you know? So we just got to figure this out together. We in this thing together.
Going in this. So what if UAPs are merely a manifestation of something that is above and around us? A consciousness. Some might call it God. Yeah, I know, this is heavy stuff. But what if the purpose of its engagement with the human race is to slowly twig our awareness and to encourage us to use abilities that we don't even know we have? I'm very interested in hearing from people who were part of the GATE program 20 to 30 years ago, who found themselves in rooms with US Air Force officers and strange psychologists in white lab coats, showing them on occasion strange, apparently non-human objects. Yes, this has been happening. Young kids, prepubertal kids, have been misused in experimentation by our military in experiments designed to develop an understanding of how to engage with the phenomenon, with a consciousness. And I think at the same time that NHI consciousness is trying to engage with humanity individually. I've spoken to so many people. I had a message this morning from one person who's an very senior US Air Force person working in a very sensitive area, who told me that they had psychic abilities and they'd never spoken about it, but when they told me about their sighting of a gigantic craft, I said to them, by any chance, do you have psychic abilities? Have you ever had an intuition or a precognition? And they said they were very moved by my...
I tell you this, and I don't know if am I crazy? It's a lot of like prophetic dreams I have. Like when it comes to, I don't know, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know. Time will tell. Like we might go another 40, 50 years, just continue speculating. The speculation has ramped up a lot, but at the end of the day, I have speculation, but I don't know nothing. But, man, I just wonder, like, what is the truth? Like, I just believe none of us, like, we think we know the truth, but it's going to, like, all this other stuff, I personally believe is just, it's meaningless. It's something bigger going on around us, and the veil might come down in this lifetime. And if, like I say, like, shoot, you're going to have to roll with it.
Question, because they'd never really spoken about it, but yes, they have.
Everybody's talking about aliens. Let me tell you what's really going on. This is crazy. So Space Force said, don't be alarmed at sightings of emergency responders, military personnel, or simulated incidents near U.S. Space Force installations over the next few days. So these exercises, which are meant to test and improve Space Launch Delta 45's operations, will involve simulated launch-related incidents on or near the agency's installations. Now, these exercises are pre-planned and are part of routine readiness training. So here's the real problem. Experts warn that the threats from space are extremely worrying because they could knock out communications infrastructure and GPS, threatening systems for travel, banking, and more that people use every day around the world. It's getting serious. So they had this strategy called competitive endurance.
I've never been, so I cannot confirm or deny that. I've never been to space. I see something up there, but I don't know what I'm seeing. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, if I go off what they taught, space real. If I go off what I've heard, space could be fake. I just want to know whatever it may be. What we on, champ? Is we on flat Earth? We on the turtle floating through space? Why have we on a ship literally encased in a dome that's just floating, was created by our predecessors, the progenitors? We don't know. I mean, some of us might know, some of us might have speculation. Then some guys is in my bubble. I don't know.
And there are 3 tenets. The first 2 are focused on space domain awareness, while the third centers on developing technology to defend satellites and other at-risk space architecture. With all the crazy things going on and all the sightings, we have this going on as well. I don't know, people. Is it the aliens or Space Force?
Apparently, a group of people that work for the Department of Veteran Affairs are in some hot water for some email chains.
See, for me, that's easier said than done, because I'm not gonna sit up here and say that's like saying, I know it was Tartaria because they said all this and that was real, but I haven't experienced it. It's so many different people. Yeah, I can have my own personal belief. Do I think aliens real? Absolutely, but I could be wrong. So for me as an individual, I know one thing. I know 1 + 1, but then at the same time, I believe it equals 2. But how do I know it truly equals 2? Because at the end of the day, a lot of things have been taught, and I haven't had the capabilities to challenge some things that we were taught. So therefore, I just have to, coast along with the best that I can. So that's just me. You're right, but at the same time, like I say, I'm at 25 years old, I don't know nothing. At 26 years old, I don't know nothing. I'm too young in the game to be moving like I have total understanding. So I'm gonna just go off what I think I know, but at the same time, I'm gonna have an open mind, because what I think I know could be wrong. Like I could think that I could be a Super Saiyan, but shoot, what if that's proven wrong? So if I believe I'm a Super Saiyan, that means, I must be crazy, or I must know somebody else, or others don't. It's just like, that's just me though. Once I get better at it, maybe I'll be where you talking about. But at this current stage, I'm lost in the sauce. Yep.
That they sent out on their official work emails.
It's not just that they're lazy, they are horny. Veteran Affairs officials in Tennessee just got caught having an orgy on the clock. And not just any orgy, 12 people, butt naked, all over each other at work. We paid for that orgy. This was a taxpayer-funded orgy. Veterans Affairs, literally.
Here we go again. I mean, they human. They gonna do what they do, but that's crazy. The whole office just said, y'all ready, y'all? Let's have a good, like, how did that transpire? Like, It started with one person, then it went to another person asking like, hey, you want to do this? Then it went to another person. Like that's so crazy. Like, how did 12 people just sign up for it? And what was the ratio between men and women? I'm just interested on that one. Was it more men than it was women? And then was it I'm just curious. I'm asking for a friend.
Some of the sex was at the VA hospital. So while veterans are getting MRIs, these guys are in the other room going at it. And one of these bureaucrats fessed up to sleeping with 32 of his coworkers. 32. 32.
32.
And the guy and a bunch of the 32 women.
32 co-workers is just devastated. See y'all, some of y'all sending y'all wives to work. And old Billy got her reaching for things. Man, that's crazy.
We're on company email bragging about it. This is the same VA that put veterans on wait lists to die. And they got bonuses.
He waiting. He clapping cheeks. He waiting. He say, look, I'm more worried about these cheeks than anything else. Yeah, that's therapeutic. That's therapeutic. Dopamine increases. Testosterone, estrogen increases. It's just everything is up during, them times. So, I mean, I guess he was doing a service to somebody, but he wasn't helping out now vets. Now, if he was knocking off the vets too, did he do a job and serve, or did he take advantage? Hey, man, for him to be moving like that, he must be blessed by the gods. That's all I'm going to say.
Longer the wait list. So Obama said he cleaned it up, right? Remember, I cleaned up the VA. It's not cleaned up where I come from, Barack.
Okay, so
what that got to do with Barack? Barack can't control what people's intent, and you can investigate somebody. You know how many people we talk to on a regular that probably do some crazy stuff right now? We don't know. It might be your best friend might literally go somewhere and he might have bodies everywhere. We don't know it. People be doing some wild stuff. You only know what you know. That's it. You only know what you know. And I know in the Bible it say what? Walk with faith, not with your eyes. But at the same time, that's a complicated statement right there. That's very complicated.
I'm sure this is an isolated incident. This is obviously not happening at every single VA medical center, but I can guarantee you one thing. Whoever these people are, they learned not to reply all to emails from this.
How to escape a universe. So, you've angered the wrong entity or stepped through the wrong strike gate and now find yourself trapped within a plane of torment or tribulation. Not to worry, Hunter. You're not the first interuniversal traveler to get stuck somewhere you don't want to be. And you won't be the last. Lucky for you, no universe, no matter how bleak, is truly inescapable. This guide will run you through the basics of finding egress from a wide variety of universes and entrapment planes, helping you to earn your freedom and get back out there. This has been an educational broadcast by the Pale Lodge.
Beats are falling like domino, and this is not a coincidence.
That's crazy. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, just the fact that, like, what if that's really what it is? Why don't we just dimensions on dimensions on dimensions? Like, Earth is like in a closed dimension. Like, brother is saying, excuse me, y'all. Like the brother saying here, like, there's truly no space. And on top of that, you just travel through numerous dimensions to a dimension to a dimension. This dimension might have 7 planets in it and they all functional. And wow, that could be an interesting take on that one.
We're going to start seeing some crazy stuff being revealed, and we're going to realize that we owe this doctor a huge apology for telling us the truth. Listen to what they did to him a couple weeks ago.
Currently being investigated by the ethics committee of one of my major medical societies. Before I get into what I'm getting investigated for, I want to take a second to defend myself. As a physician, my #1 goal has always been to give my patients the best care. #3 is to empower you, especially my female followers, to not let anybody tell you what you should do with your bodies.
Now listen closely to what he tried to tell us in this next interview.
Do you recommend taking a collagen supplement?
Oh yeah, so that's controversial. Meta-analysis back in 2021 where they looked at over 1,100 people. They took 90 days of collagen supplement and they found a statistically significant improvement in wrinkles, and skin hydration and elasticity. If you're looking for a collagen supplement, you want to find a hydrolyzed collagen peptides.
After hearing this, I did my homework. He's not just talking about any type of collagen. He is talking about hydrolyzed collagen peptide, which is one of the most potent form of collagen that our body can absorb. And collagen affects our skin, hair, nail, joint, bone. The problem is our collagen drops dramatically every single year after 25. This is also one reason why you start seeing signs of aging like wrinkles, fine lines, joint problem, knee problem around that age. No wonder they don't want us to.
I mean, technically, we all should worry about that too, because some of us age terribly, man. So, and that could be a result of genetics and the lack of getting this collagen that they're referring to. So, you got to take care of your health. We all don't want to be 60 and looking like spoiled milk. Shit, I'm gonna fight it, brother. I'm gonna take. So, with that being said, why go to the gym? We age. You supposed to fall apart. But they studies say you work out, you do rigid a regimen here and there, and that strength exercises, you keep your strength as you age. No, that's what you said. No, we gonna roll with it. Just sit your butts on the couch, eat that Big Mac, and just breathe. And what brother said here, you should be great. Your skin should be, the buoyancy should be amazing, and it should be just like you should be great. I'm gonna be 2,000 at the gym. Who says I'm not gonna live to 2,000? I'm gonna outlive all of y'all. I hope so, though. No, I'm not saying that, but to me, what's important is my health. Like, see, I'm not saying, oh, okay, you're not gonna get a wrinkle. I got wrinkles. You see what I'm saying? Some people have forehead wrinkles. It's just life. But what I'm saying is be preventative. You don't have to sit up here and just naturally age. You can take things to be. If that's the case, bro, it's a lot of things we all got to take out our diets, because at the end of the day, the vanity is crazy. The vanity is crazy, but I don't even look at it like that. I'm not trying to be in the mirror. I don't even flex in the mirror. Never have posed in the mirror. I don't care about that. Do I care about, the 6-pack, getting bigger muscles? Absolutely. I like to see the progress. But at the same time, I know when I get older, I can't control it. But that don't mean I'm not going to have something to try to, how can I say this, preserve what I have developed and not just waste away. Because what if you got genetics to where you deteriorate faster? So at that point, you should just roll with it. Hell no, not me though.
Find out about collagen because they can make so much money off of us having those problems. But the issue is high quality hydrolyzed collagen peptide is pretty hard to find, and you can't just take it alone. It is recommended that you take it with biotin and hyaluronic acid because those two ingredients can help your body absorb the collagen better. And vitamin C can help your body produce the collagen more efficiently. You could take them separately, but they're like $20 each. So one of my friends who's over 50 and
I ain't gonna fake to you, brother. You say you haven't been to the doctor in 30 years. I ain't one to judge, but that's crazy. If you've been sexually active for them 30 years and you haven't been to a doctor, the Lord will be seeing you. That's all I got to say. The Lord will be seeing you. You diabolical.
She has like 3 kids, but she looks like she could be in college. And she recommended this multi-collagen complex that's hydrolyzed collagen peptide with biotin, vitamin C, and hyaluronic acid. So I've been taking this for a couple of months. I've documented this back in April. My skin was a mess after 40. When they say that it hits you like a brick after 40, they were not joking. I was having these dehydration lines that no cream could get rid of. And my skin is glowing for the first time in years. And it's not just for the skin. I don't know if you could tell, but I got these like baby hair growing out. And I'm not the only one. There's thousands of reviews of people sharing their results. The only problem is they're always out of stock because they're selling 3 months of supply, 80 servings for like $24 right now. I've linked it in the video. If you see the orange card, there's still a few left.
If I told you it's true that aliens have been on Earth way
Now, sometimes I wonder when they do things like that, they just selling something or they really trying to drop this knowledge on us. Is this a knowledgeable statement in this video? I don't know. We gonna have to experiment. I'm gonna experiment. I be the guinea pig, and we gonna see what pop off. If I show up and I looking flawless, you already know what y'all got to do.
longer than we have. Think about it. The oligarchs will happily tell you stories about aliens from distant planets, spaceships zooming through galaxies, and creatures hiding in our skies, our oceans, even inside volcanoes.
Okay. It's gonna be something. And whatever it is, if it's extreme, I want you to. If you need surgery, you can perform it yourself. You perform it yourself, brother. We got to see this. This will be the first man to attempt whatever surgery by himself on anesthesia. Also, this man is impeccable. His skills is so worldly renowned that's why the aliens here. They here to see him. They not here to. We think they here to see us, but they looking for him because he's amazing. He's breaking barriers that we never thought would be broken.
They'll have you believe aliens are out there somewhere in space, light years away. But what if I told you the truth is right here and has been?
I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And who knows? He might have other children out here. I don't know. But yes, I believe in a creator. And yet again, but I do have an open mind that the Lord that I associate with might not be what it truly is. I might have a degenerate version of it by man's lust to be correct or to be the figure of one's selfishness, lust after they self. So I really don't know. Like I say, but I do believe in Jesus and the Lord, though. I don't know his name. They say I am who I am, and I am who I am. You know, they say we made in his image. So I might be God. Who knows? You might be God. Who knows? We all might be gods. Who knows? But I'll tell you this thing. I just try to treat everybody with the love and compassion and understanding and respect that I won't treat it towards myself. That's all I try to do, and bring interesting things to the crew and move how we move. Take it everything a day at a time, brother, on this star and then escaping everything.
Here all along because these so-called aliens aren't extraterrestrial. No, they're interdimensional. They don't come from other planets. They come from other dimensions. And guess what? They're stuck under these same skies with us. They're not visitors, they're residents. The word alien itself comes from Latin and simply means one not known. Back in the day, every other...
To me, it just don't do me no justice. Like, I could be destructive, I could be hateful, I could say some crazy stuff to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but I really don't care for that. You know what I'm saying? I want peace, harmony. I don't get it wrong. I have the devil in me. I could do some very dark things, but okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, it don't matter. I want the world to be a better place. I want to be like, just because I have darkness in me don't mean I have to be the darkness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just no point for that. I just really want, like, I just want to laugh. I like talking ish. Having a good time. You know, I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm trying to laugh. Like, even when one of my followers, Lucas, good young dude, called me uncle-ish. Do it bother me? A little bit, because I ain't old. Am I uncle? Absolutely. But I've been an uncle at a young age. But I tell you this, when I see him, we gonna be fighting. But I don't want nothing bad for him. You know what I'm saying? I want him to strive to be the best version of himself. That's at the end of the day, you know, but now, a lot of people just, how can I say this? They take things and they do bad things because they have, I think, feelings and situations unresolved. You know, like, I don't like being called old, so that's why he gonna have to see me in the ring. We gonna be sparring it out. But sure, this ain't got nothing to do with nobody but me and him and God. That's it.
Person knew of the existence.
It means a lie, and you buying it. I don't know what I'm buying. I'm buying myself, though. You know, I'm buying myself. I paid. Oh, that money. Oh, the alien? I mean, shoot, it's a great theory. You know, call it what you want, but you can't call me broke. Yes. No, I'm just saying. No, but brother, look, let me just have this one. Even if they not aliens, they might be interdimensional beings. That I know it's something. I know it's something. Now, if I'm wrong, we gonna play chess, and I'm gonna look at you in your eyes, and I'm gonna say, boss, I was wrong. Thought I knew what I was talking about. You kept telling me. I'm gonna be like, you kept telling me. So that's all I can say. No, I know, but I don't know what you know. You know what I mean? I don't know what you know. Even you told me what you know, part of me like, still want to believe in this. See, I'm not saying some wild stuff. Let me just have this. Let me just have this one.
Of them, so they weren't so alien back then. But today, the oligarchs have been working overtime to make sure we never know who the real enemy is. Every legitimate alien researcher, the ones who aren't part of the system, eventually reaches the same inescapable conclusions. These beings don't travel through space. They travel through dimensions. And they continuously switch up their story depending on who they're talking to. So it's clear to them they're compulsive liars. Sound familiar? Follow my backup account and leave a comment for part 2. I'm going to go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
We're talking about the quataloid. That's the insect praying mantis type looking, about could be up to 6 foot tall. They're the dangerous ones. We acquired this particular one from a crash site, and it actually harmed a human. So we were very careful of how we captured it and how we stored it at the containment facility at S2 Annex.
Rick, are there different species of quataloids?
Yeah, because they're genetically engineered, and we know that much. But so there are other species, and they also can appear different to humans. They make themselves appear in a particular manner to a human, and would probably just scare them.
I was thinking that too about Jesus. How you know Jesus didn't look how you wanted him to look? You know why? Like, you know how they say black Jesus, white Jesus, Middle Eastern Jesus. It might have been Japanese Jesus, Asian Jesus, Chinese Jesus, Korean, whoever, right? Jesus, right? But why have you just saw Jesus how your mind wanted to see Jesus? Why have we arguing about ish that don't really matter because that's not how Jesus looked? Because it really only mattered because it was up to you, the soul being. I don't know. I just thought about that the other day.
Would guess, but we know that one particular incident where one harmed a human being, we felt that at that point that these things were not friendly, they were not benevolent, and therefore that's why we had to keep it in captivity. And the facility housing these things had been there probably 7 to 10 years. So probably during that time period we obtained it.
Why are they here? Are they here for peace? What are they? Do they have an agenda?
We are going to look back and we are going to say that the autumn of the drones was a turning point. Because I know there's a lot happening behind the scenes that I can't talk about. I think there's consistent sightings of drones over military facilities. I think I've done stories about it. You and I have talked about Langley and Eglin Air Force Base. And this has been going on now for months. The sighting of...
Time traveler told me that before the year 2025, a great event will happen that will shake mankind to his knees. I don't know how true it is.
What we are told are drones over sensitive, super sensitive military facilities. It sounds like nothing at the moment.
And I know people would think like, he cap it. I be informed. So I don't know who I'm talking to, but they said some things. Now, I know you would be like, bro, I don't know. I'm just giving y'all what I've been told. They told me in this form that 2025, it will be something so big, it will shake mankind to his knees. I don't know. We just have to sit back and experience it. It could be a lie. I've seen some time traveler stuff. It didn't always happen unless it happened, but it didn't happen in this dimension. It was a branch universe or something of ours or something. Who knows how this timeline could work? These laws around us could work. There's so many ways things could be happening, but without the manual, you don't know.
But I wager it's going to turn out to be enormous.
The reason I believe they could be drones as I progress, because I think they got this vehicles or these vehicles from like another advanced beings possible, right? Or it could be like some robotic people, like some advanced AI that came through a dimension. But I do think they backsourced it and they realized they can't get in them because at the end of the day, if they get in them, like the human body is not capable to handle whatever is dishing out. Like that could be a thing too. And maybe it's about to be an event happening. It's a signal. And that's why they letting this happen. I don't know if they trying to elevate consciousness. I do not. Because think about in the last year, we've been seeing events, especially in the last few months, that we've never seen before in days in our lives. So we got to ask ourselves, what is going on and why is it happening?
Which is sort of it's a way of pivoting from 2024 to 25 because this seems to be ongoing.
I think 2024 in future will be seen, ironically, as the calm before the storm.
Wow.
I think very early in 2025, all hell is going to break loose.
Sure. Then I just tell y'all that this, like I say, this the first time I'm seeing these videos. I'm watching them first time with you. And I keep telling y'all, not only did I talk to somebody in a forum, I've had dreams about things, and I'm not trying to fear monger anybody. I don't know, but it could be just because one, it could be in the yerba mate I've been drinking. It could have been, even though that's more recent, it could have been the things I've been watching. It could have been the thoughts that I've created in this dream realm to where I think this gonna happen because I've been thinking these things either consciously or subconsciously. But at the end of the day, it's just we have to have awareness and understanding of what could play out in front of us. It could be a Project Bluebeam type situation. It could be something far, far worse.
Ancestral lands. How long have these people been around?
Millennia.
Bruh, chill, bruh. Bro, we don't know Bob. Why you doing Bob like that? We don't know who Bob talked to, what Bob seen. You just, hey, bro.
See, we are sold this kind of evolutionary tale about our species, but it was all fabricated. When these families discovered the 7 continents of the inner ice wall, they realized something horrifically diabolical.
What's that?
The very particular geographical layout of the land masses in contrast to the wall would allow for the perfect deception, the perfect lie.
It can't be.
Oh, but it is. You see, these people are ancient, but they were far from stupid. No, see, on the contrary, they were quite genius. See, the Constantines. Another one of these 7 families were known for their mathematical wizardry. Shortly after arriving to the inner ice wall, Richard Constantine Jr. conceived of a bright idea called convergent polarity distortion, a practical way to distort the perception of those they would soon place inside the inner ice wall. Richard realized that the circular layout of the continents inside the ice wall could be exploited. The continents, when viewed in contrast to the towering ice barrier, formed what he called the Great Containment Plane, a naturally isolating feature. And so he sought to impose a false paradigm. Using his knowledge of non-Euclidean geometry.
Hey, y'all gonna see these messages and look, let's have a discussion in the chat. Is there an ice wall? Is there a dome? Is the world round, flat? Are we speeding through the universe at trillion, gadillion miles per hour? Or we just there? Let's have this discussion.
Projection and psychological manipulation to craft the idea of a self-encompassing sphere. See, he reimagined the center of these lands as north and the exterior ice wall as south.
No, it just can't be.
I'm going to go ahead and say this is a joke for entertainment purposes only.
What in the biblically accurate angel is this? Ezekiel described a wheel within a wheel in the sky, covered in eyes that could move in any direction. He said he heard them called the whirling wheels. So what do you think these are? Drones? UFOs? Fallen angels? Demons? Biblically accurate angels?
First and foremost, I want to express to you that what I am about to speak about in this video is of my own personal opinion. You should do your own research and form your own personal hypothesis. There is a lot going on right now, and I do not claim to know the
I dabbled a bit.
answers because I do not. Know this, that the things I am about to say They are only my own personal theories. Do not take what I say as being factual. What they are calling drones, they continue to alarm the residents of New Jersey. For over a week now, these strange aircraft have been flying above the state in numbers at times as high as a dozen. Whatever these strange anomalies are, they are becoming very alarming to the local residents. The authorities recognize this, but have been unable to provide any answers. Even the Pentagon admits that they are aware of the situation, but they have been unable to provide any answers. Despite being unable to provide any details on this, they do not believe that what they are calling drones pose any kind of a threat. I did have someone from the area reach out to me privately, and they shared their opinion on what they believe was going on. I posted a video based on what he told me, but it was immediately removed. As much as I want to share that information with you, I can't. Before you go jumping to conclusions and declare this a conspiracy, recognize the fact that just because the video was removed, it doesn't necessarily validate such an assumption. Perhaps the way that I worded that video suggested it as being absolute truth when it wasn't, and I apologize to my viewers if you took it as such. When I come on here and present to you my work, I truly strive in being as factual as I can. Never would I purposely lead you astray. It is being reported that these so-called drones, that they have followed FBI agents home and even hovered above their residence. This whole thing is absolutely mind-boggling. Rumors, and let me say that again, rumors, not facts, are soaring across the internet faster than light. I really got to thinking back to what the James Webb Telescope discovered back in September 2024.
I'm a seeker of truth. Once I know the truth, I'll come to you. You know, now, if you don't want to take the truth as the truth, we just gonna have to spar so I could beat it into you a little bit, old school. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I got you.
When it detected several objects traveling through space, and then they course corrected themselves and headed towards Earth. Could those objects have been alien ships, and they have arrived? And the drones we are seeing, that they are probes being sent down here for observation before landing. Some are even reporting that these drones are coming out of the ocean and then returning to it. These are only rumors and theories, so do not take this video as facts. Do your own research. If you enjoyed this video,
I don't know. They dogged Eddie, bruh. They dogged Eddie. They said Eddie was tripping. He might have been right. Like I say, I have to do a scientific study and experience it myself. I can't read no information. I got to sit up here and say, okay, is it a horizon? Okay, I got to travel here. I have to see. If I can't do that, I'm never going to say I know something. You see what I'm saying? If I can't build a spaceship and step out, well, be outside of the Earth atmosphere, so-called, to see, I can't. That's how I got to experience it. If I can't experience it like that, I'm always going to say, I don't know.
Would you be so kind and like it? Also, if you would like to see more of my content, please consider following me. But that is all for now. I love you all. This is Michael Leonard signing off.
All right, people, closely watch this. He's using a telescope. Take a look. He puts it. Yep, as he puts it together, he's going to zoom in on what looks to be, I believe it's the moon. Yes, the moon. So he's looking at the moon. He pulls in. He's able to focus in. Obviously, he's got a very, very high telescopic lens on. And what do you see? Oh, there's a red light, and looks like there's something literally flying around a red light. It could be a tower, or it could be a craft. Actually, it seems to be going in a circular pattern, stopping. That actually looks like some type of a controlled craft. And of course, this is zooming in onto the moon, which everyone says there's nothing going on there, but obviously, clearly, there's structures and, you know, obviously this is for entertainment purposes, but we all know there's a whole bunch of stuff on that other side, and that's why we don't hang out the moon.
What is it about humanity that wants to go to all the details and stuff and listen? You know, these guys like Fauci get up there and start talking. You know, he doesn't know anything really about anything, and I'd say that to his face. Nothing. The man thinks you can take a blood sample and stick it in an electron microscope, and if it's got a virus in there, you'll know it. he doesn't understand electron microscopy, and he doesn't understand medicine, and he should not be in a position like he's in. Most of those guys up there on the top are just total administrative people, and they don't know anything about what's going on at the bottom. But the simplest person on the planet can say, well, if we know that this disease is caused by HIV, how do we know that? Who figured it out? Is it in the Bible, you know? Or is it in the Journal of the American Medical Association? Is it in some place where we can all look at it? That's what science is supposed to do. It's empirical science. That's what we do.
Speaking of Jesus, did you guys hear about this church in Switzerland called St. Peter's Chapel?
I mean, it could be a hologram. Who knows? I don't know. Like I said, I got to experience it.
Confessionals, they have a AI powered hologram of Jesus.
Sick.
That you confess your sins to. People have described it as having an amazing spiritual experience. And it's like, dude, no.
Why do we think this is a good idea?
Yeah, and then the church said that it's not a permanent thing, but similar chatbots could one day take some of the responsibility of church pastors in the future.
Oh my God. How about no?
Yeah.
How about there's other things that they can do?
Like, this is the beginning of the end of the world.
Let kindness and compassion steer your course.
To me all the time. They try and raise my heartbeat up, try and give me a heart attack all the time, and they try and do black magic on me all the time. It's funny really, because the cheap ones that try and do it think that they have these. They do voodoo. They make voodoo dolls too, and they try and pull pins from voodoo dolls, and they're so low down. They're so low down. They think that they're like a lot more powerful than they are. Mm-hmm. And if somebody tries to do black magic on me, I get images in my head with it hours beforehand. So I'm shown that it's going to happen. So I immediately defend. I mirror it. I mirror it back to them. I could 7 times it, but I don't do that, because that then carries consequences and karma. And I don't need any more of that. Like a voodoo doll? Yes. Yeah. I saw one. Somebody built one the other day to do to me.
Okay. I
saw them build it.
So this just happened yesterday. The IDF has taken over Mount Hermon in Syria. And for those who don't know, Mount Hermon is where the fallen angels descended on. So in the Hebrew Bible, Mount Hermon constituted part of the northern border of the Promised Land. And in the book of Enoch, it is the site of the descent of the fallen angels when they determined to take human wives on earth. Now, some others speculate that in the New Testament, it is a likely candidate for the so-called Mount of Transfiguration, but that is debatable. But what's not debatable is that Mount Hermon was the area where Jesus said in Matthew chapter 16, I will build my church. As we see here in Matthew 16, when they come into the region of Caesarea Philippi, and that is located at the base of Mount Hermon. And what does Jesus say here at Mount Hermon? On this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. Now, an interesting interpretation here is that Jesus is referring to Mount Hermon as this rock. When he says, on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it, he is literally speaking about that Mount Hermon rock that he's building his church, because that is where the fallen angels descended on, rebelling against God. So he is going to where they rebelled against him, and he is declaring, I will build my church right here where you built your rebellion. I am going to build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. I think it's a pretty cool interpretation, but to hold that interpretation, you must hold a supernatural, spiritual, biblical worldview, which I hold. Now, an interesting side note is how Paramount can be symbolic of Mount Hermon, where you have the stars falling from the sky, descending upon this mountain that is called Paramount, kind of like paranormal, the paranormal mountain. I mean, that's just speculation, but something I wanted to add. But this situation right here, where the IDF has secured Mount Hermon, the highest point under Israel's control, is a huge sign, in my personal opinion, of the times that we live in. Because we understand how these fallen angels who descended upon Mount Hermon brought about the Nephilim, the mighty men, because they married the daughters of men. And during this time, the Lord saw the wickedness of man was great on the earth. And the reason why the wickedness was so great is because you have the mixing of genetics, which we are seeing right now happening once again. Again, you can find article after article of this going on. It's been going on for a while. And as we know in Matthew 24, as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. So yeah, you can add this puzzle piece right here to the entire picture of the end times that we are living in right now. And for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, we can see how close we are to the return of our King, and we continue to look up, for our redemption draws near. Do not become Lot's wife, looking back in this world. Let go of this world now. Keep your eyes focused upon the Lord. Pray for discernment, pray for wisdom, pray for guidance, pray for protection. The enemy is a roaring lion waiting to devour you and your family and your loved ones. The enemy is attacking hard right now, guys. We need to stay strong in the Lord and the power of his might. He is a mighty warrior. He goes forth. I cannot stress that enough. I love y'all so much. God bless and remember, the just shall live by faith.
Pope Francis to open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve for a ritual that's never been done before. Interesting. So Pope Francis will commence a centuries-long Catholic tradition on Christmas Eve and introduce a first-time historical addition to the holy ritual. Starting on December 4th, the Pontiff will open a series of 5 holy doors throughout the Vatican, including St. Peter's Basilica, plus Rome's 3 other basilicas to commerce next year's Catholic Church Jubilee, a joyful commemoration of faith that normally occurs every 25 years. The door at St. Peter's was sealed shut by a wall of bricks since the Jubilee year of Divine Mercy in 2016, and on December 2nd, those were ripped down to ready the door for opening as part of the rite of recognition. Now, after the Christmas Eve ritual, Pope Francis will open a symbolic door inside the Roman prison Rebibbia on December 26th, the feast of St. Stephen. It will be the first time a pope has opened a holy door at a prison. This resembles freedom, daily feel the harshness of detention and its restrictions, lack of affection, and in more than a few cases, lack of respect, Pope Francis said. In order to offer prisoners a concrete sign of closeness, I would myself like to open a holy door in a prison as a sign inviting prisoners to look to the future with hope and a renewed sense of confidence. Now, the objective of opening the doors later this month is to usher in a year renewed hope as Christians find Christ as the door of our salvation. So this will be the first holy door opened, and this is the door of the Basilica of St. Paul. Now, the Catholic Church began the ritual on December 2nd, praying at the door in St. Peter's Basilica and removing a metal box, pictured right here, that held the key, which was followed by ceremonies at the other 4 doors. This box was buried. They had to unbury it to get the keys. Now, the way this works is the Pope is the first one to walk through the door and unlock the door, and he is the last one to walk out of the door. This is very ritualistic and super serious if you're a Catholic or Christian. Article.
I don't know what Pope Francis is doing. Hopefully whatever he's doing is for the best for all of us. That's all I say. You know, I hear portals or doors being opened. That sound crazy. That never been opened in a long time. And that look like that angel that Enoch was describing, another one of it. I don't even know what that is. That look huge.
All
though.
gods are in the world are triune gods. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Osiris, Isis, Horus, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No, it's all a story. It's based on 3. And then you have the 3 major religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Why 3? Why couldn't it be 7? No. And then you'll find out, no, you're playing with numbers now. There's something going on here, and it's encoded. Nobody reads anything. Nobody cares. You just do what you do because they were born into it. So if you're Catholic, you just go to Catholic church. You never realize that as a Catholic, you're worshiping a god named Dagon. D-A-G-O-N is the god of Catholicism. Nobody knows anything about Dagon, and nobody cares. Why? Because it's just a church. So we go to church and we feel good, and we have all our friends there. And I said, yeah, but you're worshiping Dagon, goofball. Do you know that? Do you know who Dagon was? Who? Do you know what Dagon is? Because it's right there in front of you if you just look at the church.
What we're thinking of as precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped.
The Pentagon and other parts of the government are finally starting to come out and talk about this whole drone UAP UFO incursions that are happening in New Jersey specifically, but all across the country and the world. They came out yesterday, the spokesperson for the Pentagon, and did a presser which raised a lot more questions than it did answer. And the guy said a bunch of things that I thought were pretty odd. So one of them, he said basically they're devising a plan. It's like, really, you're the Pentagon. Like, don't y'all game plan and run, simulations for basically every scenario you can imagine? But all of a sudden, these drone incursions are something that y'all never planned for? You don't have any sort of...
Like I say, these incursions could be just like, it's a comic with the X-Men and the Avengers, the incursions. Basically, they came from a different dimension and it was time to get busy.
Anything, like, ready to go? Like, they're caught flat-footed. They're, like, starting to devise a plan now. It's like, this has been going on for months. This is crazy. But he said one of the parts of their plan was that they're going to consult with subject matter experts. And the way he said it was really bizarre, because you're the Pentagon, right? They have hundreds of thousands of employees, and they have like specialists in nearly every field imaginable. But he said they're going to consult with subject matter experts. That makes me think they're going to start talking to like the me's of the world, right? Like not me specifically, but like people that are civilians, meaning like people that are, experts in consciousness, spirituality, maybe even UAP and UFO experiencers and that kind of stuff, to shine some light on what's happening, because I think they're tapped out. I don't think they and their specialists can really wrap their heads around exactly what they're experiencing and dealing with here. So they're going to start pulling in subject matter.
Dude, they need to come get me. Give me the information that y'all got. I guarantee my theoretical mind, I could figure out what's going on. You just give me everything you got. I'm going to put a puzzle together. I think I could, boy, if I know what's really, give me the hard evidence that you got, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I just got that belief in myself.
Experts. And then separately, Nancy Mace, one of our congresswomen, she's good. She was in a skiff today, a closed door, like classified meeting, and said that one of the things that Arrow was telling her was that there are certain shapes that they've identified that are recurring that they can't explain. So basically,
I don't care about the hard evidence. Show me the evidence that y'all got that y'all done showing the public that y'all don't even know about. You see what I'm saying? Show me that evidence and I can figure something out. I can draw you a picture.
Arrow is who surveys all of the different UAP and UFO encounters and sightings, that kind of stuff, and catalogs everything and investigates.
And if I can't draw a picture, I do 20 years in prison. I do 20 years. Or I might give you a finger or something. Whatever you want, I give it to you if I'm wrong.
And they said that there's a lot
That's
of
how much
shapes
confidence
that they have cataloged. They've investigated all of them, and most of them, there's an explanation behind. But there's certain shapes. She kept saying certain shapes. She said that this is all classified, but so she can't tell us, which is whatever. But that there's certain shapes that she can't tell us what the shapes are, but that they're very concerned about because these shapes are recurring, meaning they keep having experiences and encounters and sightings of these specific shapes that through all of their rigorous investigation and high-level imagery and analytics and everything, they cannot figure out what these
good song
are. They're completely unexplained, and evidently it's recurring, and evidently it's part of this whole drone thing that's going on now. So there's a big part of this that's unexplained. The highest levels of the government, Pentagon, classified, meetings are happening around the clock, people getting together and trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So for everyone out there that just tells you this is a drone or this is a plane, it's not. Or you can just look at the behavior of the government. They're perplexed. They don't really know what to do. I think that's concerning and interesting. Let me know what you think. Have a beautiful day. Peace.
They made it brutally clear. They knew exactly who every soldier in that detachment was. And the warning? Unforgiving. If anyone dared to speak about what unfolded that night, their fate was sealed, a staged suicide. It was July 2019. In the dense, humid forest of Guanajuato, Mexico, a specialized military unit of 20 soldiers is deployed for a covert operation in the mountains and forest. Their mission was clear: locate and destroy illegal cartel operations hidden deep within the rugged terrain. The soldiers, battle-hardened and professional, set up their camp under the heavy canopy of trees, unaware that their world is about to shift in ways they could never imagine. On the first night of their deployment, as the soldiers set up camp amidst the thick forest, an eerie sound began to pierce the stillness. It started as distant.
You know, one of my ancestors, H.P. Lovecraft, I believe, you know, he met some real reptilians. That's one of my great grandfather. Hey, that's good, brother. I should have been number one, but I ain't work hard enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I was something for you. You know, you saw my pearly whites. Trying to get that Colgate get. You know what I'm saying? I get that Colgate deal. We doing what we do. I'm going to spread them chickens with y'all. Yes, I will. We going to donate. We will donate. If we start generating, I might do money giveaways. We going to give bundles. Big bundles. You know, I give y'all that PS8 when it drops. Yeah, you were, Mr. German. Yeah, you were. This is my German guy, bro. He from Germany. He believe in aliens, interdimensional beings. He'd say you wrong with everything, you know, but he good people. He good people. He got a whole different perspective on things. I call him the madman.
Mournful wails, the kind that suggested unimaginable suffering. At first, the soldiers assumed it might be a sign of the cartel brutality, a victim in dire need of rescue. But as hours dragged on, some soldiers began to doubt their assumptions. The sounds were too guttural, too unearthly. They weren't the cries of a human in pain. They were primal, animalistic, and reverberated through the forest in the way that made their skin crawl. Despite their unease, the cries stopped abruptly, and the soldiers managed to get a few hours of sleep. The group pressed on, cautiously scanning their...
I was telling somebody, like, you deep throat. They was like, deep throat? What the hell you got going on? I'm like, no, bruh, not like that. Pause. I'm talking about deep throat from X-Files. Like, he know things. Like it. It's just crazy, bruh. It started going left.
Surroundings. The forest, once alive with the usual cacophony of wildlife, was now deathly silent. Not a single bird call, insect buzz, or rustle of the leaves disturbed the oppressive quiet. The only sounds were their own footsteps and the occasional rustling of their gear. It was as though the forest itself was holding its breath. The soldiers prepared for a restless night. True to form, the wails returned, louder, closer, and more terrifying than the previous night. Despite their military discipline, the men were visibly shaking, their hands tightening around their weapons as they peered into the darkness. By the second day, the soldiers stumbled upon what they'd been searching for: the cartel's drug operation. An old abandoned warehouse, but it seemed that they left in a hurry, taking the drugs and money but leaving everything else. The unit checked the surrounding area, and after not finding any traces, decided to head back to the LZ, where they would get picked up via helicopter. The group decided to take a different route to their extraction point to avoid potential ambushes. Their new path led them to a cave. As the sun began to set, it seemed like an ideal location to camp for the night, offering natural protection from the elements and a defensible position. The men set up their tents, rolled out their sleeping bags, and established a watch rotation. At 3 a.m., the tranquility of the camp was shattered. The now familiar screams erupted once more, but this time they weren't coming from the forest. They were emanating from deep within the cave. The sound was overwhelming, shaking the soldiers to their core. After a hurried discussion, the group split into two teams. One would stay at the camp to guard their supplies and the entrance of the cave, while the other would venture deeper into the cave to investigate. Flashlights in hand and weapons drawn, the search team cautiously entered deeper into the cave. The darkness was oppressive, the air thick and damp. For a long time, you saw nothing but barren rock, but then their beams of light fell on something that made their blood run cold. A slick, rubbery surface glistening in the dim light. It wasn't rock, it was green, scaly, and unlike anything they had ever seen. As their lights panned across the cavern and more detail emerged, the creature's face was reptilian, its eyes glistening with a predatory gleam. Its clawed hands gripped the rock with inhuman strength, and it wasn't alone. At least a few of the creatures moved in the shadows, their movements impossibly fast and agile. The soldiers were frozen in place, unable to process what they were seeing. It was also reported that they were wearing some type of advanced suit made from an unknown material. One of the creatures let out a scream, the same inhuman wail that had haunted them for nights. It echoed through the cavern, triggering a response from the other creatures. The soldiers opened up fire, the muzzle flashes lighting up the cave in a burst of chaos. Their bullets had no effect. The creature's hides seemed impervious, deflecting the rounds as though they were firing at steel. Realizing they were outmatched, the soldiers reacted in a panic. Abandoning their fallen comrades, a soldier's scream pierced the darkness as one of the creatures seized him, dragging him into the darkness. Moments later, another cried, echoed, then another, each one more harrowing than the last. By the time the third man was taken, panic had spread through the group. Shouts erupted as the soldiers tried to make sense of the chaos, their horror mounting as they discovered their comrades' mutilated bodies, arms torn from sockets, lifeless forms sprawled across the cave floor, their stomachs scavengingly ripped open. As they stumbled back to camp, those who had stayed behind were already on high alert, their weapons trained on the cave entrance. But the creatures didn't follow. For reasons the soldiers couldn't fathom, the reptilian beings refused to leave their subterranean domain. The survivors hastily radioed for extraction, their voices shaking as they relayed the horrifying encounter. Minutes later, the roar of a helicopter blades filled the air. Relief turned to confusion. However, when the aircraft came into view, it was an all-black chopper, devoid of any markings identifying it as part of the Mexican military. From the helicopter descended individuals clad in sleek, black metallic uniforms, with the word Phantoms on their chest plate of their advanced armor. Their visors concealed their faces, and their voices, when they spoke, were distorted and unnatural, robotic, as if it was filtered or their native language was.
I ain't gonna lie, if they got a group like that, I'd have been hopped in the military, boy. I'd have been out here with the space guns. I'd have been getting busy. Space Marine. That's me.
Into Spanish as they spoke through their helmets. They ordered the soldiers to stand down, their tone brooking no argument. The mysterious figures entered the cave without hesitation, carrying advanced weaponry that the soldiers didn't recognize. What happened inside remains unknown. They heard what sounded like a hail of energy blasts. When the team emerged, they gave no explanation. With them, the advanced soldiers carried out black body bags, what they could only suspect to be the reptilian creatures that were now deceased. They simply ordered the soldiers to leave and to forget what they had seen. The soldiers were evacuated shortly after. In the days and weeks that followed, the surviving soldiers were debriefed and sworn to secrecy under the threat of severe consequences. Rumors spread among the ranks, but no official report was ever filed. According to the insider journalist Diana Salazar, the fallout from that night was profound. Many soldiers, unable to cope with what they had witnessed, resigned from the military as soon as they could. Yet even in civilian life, they claimed to be under constant, unrelenting 24-hour surveillance, a silent reminder that their secrets were never truly their own. The few who dared to recount their stories did so in whispers, only under the tightest veil of anonymity. For those who remained in the military, their lives were quietly reshuffled, reassigned to obscure, low-profile roles. But for those who walked away, normalcy was a fleeting concept. Many found themselves taken up as private bodyguards, their skills repurposed for a world that felt no less shadowy or dangerous. They moved through life burdened by the weight of an unspeakable truth, a truth that deemed their silence but refused to let them forget. To this day, the events of their mission remain shrouded in mystery, a chilling tale of an encounter with the unknown.
And you can't remember your dreams is because your third eye chakra is underactive. Let me explain. If you currently live on simulation Earth, the cards are stacked against you in terms of spiritual growth. Why do you think yoga class is so much harder than scrolling through your phone? Why do you think meditation is near impossible if you're near any electronic devices or you don't set aside the time to make a practice? Why do you think trash food is so convenient? GMO much? You know the average American eats a whole credit card worth of microplastics in 1 week? I can only say so much because this is TikTok, but what I've used to decalcify my third eye and increase my connection with the divine is I Am Joy Ormus. As Shifted Paradigm said, this is the good stuff. I've done my research on this company and I've had plenty of Ormus brand. I was excited when I Am Joy came onto TikTok. Uses include astral projection, focus, creativity, brain function. Only of the highest of the high pharaohs used this in ancient Egypt. It was known as the elixir of the gods. Organic, non-GMO, and linked below. If you still see an orange cart, you're in luck. You're welcome.
I don't need that. I remember my dreams.
تحت الأرض. طبعا نحن بالأصل طابق ثاني تحت الأرض. نحن بالأصل طابق ثاني تحت الأرض. يا لطيف. ليش مو مركبين له أسانسير؟ معقولة كان ينزلوا كله بشيء؟
Look crazy. That do look like the back rooms, doesn't it? Bro, it's crazy stuff like that exists.
يا لطيف. هذول كلهم مسدسات. ساعات. قرآن كريم. يا كنت تعرف انت كنت القرآن الكريم.
Yeah, I gotta make it better.
هون كان شكل تغليف العملة.
Oh, thanks. They look like they took everything of importance.
كله معفص. منال ماهر. عليك.
No, this ain't staged. So this what happened in the world. I don't know if you know about it. It's some dude, he fled to Russia. I believe Syria has been overran and they got rid of their leader. This is somewhere, I believe, in Syria. So I don't know. I'm not there. So we could argue anything. You know, this could be CGI. This, I don't know. They say he took a lot of things. I got another video. He left all his cars and everything. He didn't take everything. No, this is prior. A lot of them already ran this old. He just going after the scraps. Because it's been rebel forces. There's been stuff going on in the world that America just don't talk about. I got some friends over there that told me some things.
هاي المعسلات تبعه جاهزة. شو بيشرب الواطي؟
That's that good silver, boy. He's about to get that money. He's about
Most
to
of you
get
are
that
aware
money.
the Assad regime collapsed last night as they unconditionally surrendered to the rebel forces that were taking over Western Syria. And like most dictators, Assad had his own personal car collection that he had at the presidential
He in
palace
Russia right
in
now.
Damascus. And you see in this video, there's tons of cars in there. There's trucks, there's Toyota Tundras, there's Mercedes Benzes, there's Aston Martins, there's Corvettes, there's all kinds of stuff in there. And they basically walked through this warehouse, and this is just one warehouse, I'm sure there's probably another somewhere around there, of all these classic cars and expensive collectible cars like Cadillac, Escalades, Lexuses, all kinds of things. And just goes to show you how much these types of folks hoard things while most of their population is living in abject poverty.
The things they
the hell
put
are
in
you?
movies.
The operating system of your moon. I'm programmed to tell you about the origin of your planet. On the brink of their extinction, your ancestors escaped to a secret corner of their galaxy. For many generations, they built planetary structures, operated by benign artificial intelligence and fueled by the abundant energy of captured stars. These armored vessels were designed to search the universe for ideal conditions to incubate new life. But only one of them, your moon, was deployed in time before the last of your ancestors were discovered and annihilated.
Why didn't they leave in them?
These swarms attack all electronic objects containing organic life inside. They had to be empty.
Our ancestors gave up their existence.
So that one day, humans could be reborn. Your solar system was one of the only suitable places to initiate the creation of a new and habitable planet. After your planet was born, your ancestors seeded it with their own genetic signature, the code of life.
Wouldn't it be interesting if you descended from the 12 apostles? Because you might. And their names are going to be written on the New Jerusalem. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Now there's some debate as to whether or not Judas is the 12th apostle, or if it's going to be Peter, but I say it's Judas, and I'll tell you why. Now remember that Satan entered Judas before he sold...
Man, if Judas become an apostle, that's crazy work. A op becomes the apostle. That's just some crazy work.
Jesus down the river. But he repented after he did it. That's right, he repented, and therefore, he is saved. Am I wrong? He tries to give back the money.
See, that's why I say, like, that could...
The priests don't want it. Because remember that Jesus saves. Now, since all 12 of the tribes of Israel's names will be on the entrances of the New Jerusalem, and all 12 of the foundations are going to be named of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, despite the fact that many of the 12 tribes, including 10 of them, were kicked out, were worshiping other gods, their names will still be on the New Jerusalem. It stands to reason that the original 12 apostles are going to be the names written on the stones of the foundations of the New Jerusalem. Back to descending from the 12 apostles, we know that Peter had a mother-in-law, which means Peter was married. Likely the rest of them, because they were grown men, were married and had children, therefore having descent, unless their bloodlines died out, which I don't think it did. Which means that they had little babes running around who grew up, got married, and had babies, and because this was thousands of years ago, that DNA would have ended up in some of you. So when you read the Bible, if you think that it's just some random story about people you have no connection to, you are incorrect. You are actually reading about your ancestors. Adam and Eve, we've got Noah and his wife. Pick a son, maybe 1, 2, or 3 of them.
Hey, Jeremy, you know a little bit more than me about that. You could tell me what you think. You know what I'm saying? I already know what I think. What you think?
That you descend from, and you most definitely all descend from Jacob, whose name becomes Israel. Now I'm talking modern day people that are living, that are currently watching this. We all have a little bit of that in us, and now And today's revelation
We can't say we all have it. Everybody different.
was, what if we also descend from the 12 apostles? That's right. So your ancestors' names are going to be written on the New Jerusalem, be it on the doors or on the stones thereof. Cool, right?
Holy shit. If you listen, oh my God. You know how everybody says these things are fake? Over Grissom. You know, the Air Force Base in Indiana?
Am I the chosen one, y'all? That's my last name. Now we'll see each other if y'all play with me. But am I special? What's the chances I click a video and my name in it? My name. I'm gonna have to go take his spot real quick.
A 20-mile-long mothership was spotted. Now, I know everybody's going to be like, the mothership thing again, right? But haven't we been hearing it? Haven't they been talking about the mothership hovering above, sending fucking drones to check us out? Isn't that what the narrative is now? Isn't that what they said it is? And mind you, you know what's happening in a couple of days, right? You know what's going on, right? Everybody's losing their shit, myself included, but not because of what's gonna be decided on in a couple of days. I'm losing my shit because there's a 20-mile-long mothership that was spotted, supposedly, because this is just for entertainment purposes, TikTok, but supposedly a 20-mile-long mothership was spotted over Grissom Joint Air Reserve Base in Indiana.
I didn't know my name was on the airbase. So since my name is on that airbase, can I just stroll through there? Like technically I own it then. My name on it.
You live in Indiana or in the surrounding states and you've seen this thing, you got pictures, you got footage, anything, please reach out to me.
What y'all doing, bro? Relax. Everybody has their own opinion. We only would know the truth when the end times come. Just relax. Or when the truth shall reveal itself. Everybody don't know. Some people say some crazy things. Some people may be right about the crazy things they say. We just gotta stick together and understand when whatever is revealed, accept what it is, and we all move forward.
This video, leave a comment. Let me know what the hell you saw, because we really want to know what the fuck is going on.
Judas, the biggest traitor in the Bible. What if I told you Judas didn't just betray Jesus out of greed? It goes deeper than that. Judas was one of the 12. He walked with Jesus, witnessed miracles, heard teachings firsthand. So why did he betray the Son of God? Some believe it was purely for money. After all, Judas took 30 pieces of silver from the chief priest to hand Jesus over. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priest and asked, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?" Matthew 26:14-15. But could it be that Judas wanted more than just silver? By the way, if you're drawn into this story, picture seeing it like never before. The Action Bible brings scenes like these to life with gripping illustrations. It's a comic-style Bible that captivates, turning scripture into a visual journey. Click the orange link below to get the Action Bible for the lowest price on TikTok. Back to the...
I'm gonna go buy that, boy. I like graphic novels. The Action Bible, we all should get that. I just want to see what it's about. And we could probably have little reading sessions and stuff.
Subject. Scripture suggests that Judas might have had a different agenda. He may have expected Jesus to lead a powerful revolt, to overthrow Roman rule. But when Jesus spoke about sacrifice, humility, and a kingdom not of this world, it's possible Judas grew frustrated. Instead of seeing a king rise up against Rome, he saw a savior talking about love and forgiveness. In that frustration, Judas opened himself up to darkness. Then Satan entered Judas. Luke 22:3. He chose betrayal over loyalty. Here's where it gets even more powerful. Despite knowing Judas would betray him, Jesus still shared the Last Supper with him, still washed his feet. Jesus knew who would betray him, and that was why he said not everyone was clean. John 13:11. Jesus gave Judas every chance to choose a different path. Imagine the mercy and grace it took for Jesus to love someone who would betray him. Ultimately, Judas's story shows us the danger of unmet expectations and letting bitterness take root. Instead of trusting Jesus, Judas tried to force his own plans, and when he realized the weight of his actions, it was too late. If this challenges you, follow, like, and comment below. Let's dive deeper into why trust in Jesus is everything. Do you think Judas could have chosen a different path? Let's talk about it.
I mean, he could, but he chose the path he chose because he was who he was, divine by his experiences. So he made the decision for himself.
Essentially, before being observed, particles exist in a state of superposition, where all their possible states coexist. In other words, infinite possibilities. But at the moment of observation, they choose a single state. The double-slit experiment shows us that, at the quantum level, reality is not fixed or determined. Instead, it is a field of infinite possibilities that only fully manifests in response to interaction with an observer. Imagine you have an extremely powerful microscope and point it at your hand. You would first see the molecules that form your skin. Going deeper, you would observe atoms with protons and neutrons in the nucleus and electrons orbiting around them. Delving even further, you would see quarks, elementary particles even smaller than protons and neutrons.
We all could agree to disagree. Some of us are more right than others, and we just got to move accordingly. Excuse me. And we just got to respect one another. See, the problem with text form is it's up to the person's perspective on how they interpret what's being said. So I don't know. I mean, nobody said nothing crazy, you know. So it's just a
This is where science has reached so far. From here, there are two main interpretations. One suggests that beneath the level of quarks are superstrings, while the other posits the existence of the Higgs boson, the field that gives mass to everything that exists. But what lies beneath that? The quantum vacuum, an infinite field of primordial energy. It is from this that everything that exists emerges. The energy that emerges and comes into contact with the Higgs boson field, which also emerges from the quantum vacuum, gives mass to quarks, which form protons, which form atoms, which form molecules, which form cells, which form organs, which form the bodies of all organic beings. Being formed by the quantum vacuum means its essence is within every person. This essence is what is referred to as the divine spark, a particle of the quantum vacuum, like its fingerprint. Every being that exists has an individual and individualized divine spark emanating from the quantum vacuum. The spark is the quantum vacuum itself. Understanding and recognizing this is what is called enlightenment. The enlightened being is one who feels this. Feeling is the key here. Without feeling, the divine spark cannot be accepted, and thus the illusion of separation continues. To love the all, one must feel that the all is the essence of everything that exists. On the deepest level, the all and the person are the same thing. But the person must feel this. When someone feels this, they begin to let the all resolve everything. This is what is meant by abandoning the ego, allowing the spark to act, setting aside personal interests, and letting the spark guide everything.
This is going to be the one and only video I can make telling you guys the truth about what's really going on. I'm the regional water manager for Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York. And all I can really do is warn you guys and give you a heads up. Please take this serious. I'm going to let you in on the county's dirty little secrets. Please just don't trust the water. Do not trust the water. If you've ever smelled stinky sewage 50 miles from your neighborhood, please use a filter like this to filter your filtered water. No, I didn't mess up. I didn't stutter. You need to filter your water before you drink it. And if you can afford it, please start even washing your hands and showering with filtered water. I hope you take this to heart and really listen. I'm gonna put in the link below a water filter straw that you can use. You could just put it in any water source and drink out of it. It could last you about 1 to 2 years, about 1,000 gallons. I suggest getting a 5-pack for you and your family. Stay safe out there. And if I could keep you updated without losing my job, I will keep you updated. So be sure to follow. Get these on the link below as soon as possible. Believe me when I say wars are not fought on the battlefield anymore.
From what I've read, it's really getting bad out here with the water.
Attention. You would not believe what I found in this document. This is a printout of the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act. Let's go ahead and dive in and take a look. Here you can see we're on FEMA.gov, Title 42, U.S. Code, Section 5121 through 5208. We'll be looking at Title 6, Emergency Preparedness, Subtitle A, Powers and Duties, Section 611, Detailed Functions of Administration. Here we are, Subtitle A, Powers and Duties. And this is what caught my attention. The administrator may procure by condemnation or otherwise construct, lease, transport, store, maintain.
Well, in a way, he do have authority. He's a moderator, so that's probably where he was coming from. So I ain't gonna fake to y'all. Y'all silly then. It's not even that. It's wild, bruh. Y'all both crazy, man.
Maintain, renovate, or distribute
Y'all both
materials
good
and
people.
facilities for emergency
I think it's just a misunderstanding.
preparedness with the right to take immediate possession thereof. But just who is the administrator? What are the materials? And what are the facilities? Per Cornell law, the administrator is the administrator of FEMA. Again, per Cornell law, materials are supplies, medicines, equipment, component parts, and technical information. And lastly, per Cornell law once again, facilities are buildings, shelters, utilities, and land. And the administrator may procure by condemnation and take immediate possession thereof. But this book here is going to give you the ingenious ways to outfox FEMA in the next crisis, with all of the different ways to do so. But you're also going to learn how to stay completely off the government's radar and how to stop your phone from tracking you. This is Joel Lambert, a 10-year Navy SEAL vet who wrote this book. You're also going to learn the first thing you should do if martial law is declared, how to hide from thermal vision, and how to make your property looter-proof. But that's just the beginning of what you're going to learn here in this amazing guide, a Navy SEAL's bug-in guide, how to turn your house into the safest place on earth. This is a fantastic guide to have in every single home. If you don't have it yet, I'll drop it in the orange shopping cart link below.
I think everybody should get that book, just in case. A friend told me.
Remote control program that gives you graphical control of the machine. Turn the resolution right down, turn it down to I think 4-bit color. And then on the desktop of the NAS machine, navigate it to the folder, double click on the first image. The application launches, the image comes up on the screen, but it's still very, very slow. And what I saw, I was hoping to see exactly what she was describing, sources and very definite imagery. And what instead I saw was, I assume it was the Earth. This was in sort of shades of grey, but you had the Earth's hemisphere, doing about 2/3 of the screen. And then halfway between the top of the hemisphere and the bottom of the picture, there was a classic sort of cigar-shaped object, but with sort of golf ball domes, geodesic domes, above, below, and this side, and I assume the other side as well, so to the left and right as well. And with very slightly flattened cigar ends. No seams, no rivets, no sort of telemetry or antennae or anything like that.
Is happening with what can you tell us about these drones?
I believe he a guy that hacked NASA back a while ago.
What I would tell you, Jennifer, is that they are being actively monitored. Installation leaders have determined so far that none of these incursions impact the base residents.
What's up, whoever you are, brother, sister, or extraterrestrial or interdimensional being? Thank you for joining us today. Hopefully, you like some of the show that's left, hopefully you doing well, the stranger.
Facilities or the assets that we have on those bases. We're, of course, continuing to work with host nation authorities and our mission partners to ensure the safety of our personnel, our facilities, and the equipment. The bottom line is it's something that we're going to take seriously.
Now, let me ask y'all this. What do y'all think these saucers are that's being popped up all over the world? UFO, like that's these recent drones. Do y'all think that the governments know what they are? Are they Chinese, Russian, someone else's? Oh, I'm great. I'm glad you're doing good too.
But as of right now, he's not had any significant issue.
Some issues with the reporting on how this is being reported, and not drones. Let me be very clear. This isn't conspiracy. This isn't craziness. They are not drones. We had the same situation at Langley Air Force Base in February.
Do y'all think they drones? They are SpaceX. So Elon he doing something. It's time. Elon taking over. He said, forget everybody. We taking over. No, I agree. We can have speculation. It's all speculation. Remember Area 12? You talking about the movie? Or was that Area 21? I don't know.
They were there for 16 nights and they could not disperse them. It's the same thing
So,
over again.
question, if it's their tech, why just have it out and about willy-nilly where they say they don't disclose certain tech? Like even that one plane they got that's only like 4 of, the black one, like that's shaped like a arrow almost. If it's their technology, hologram tech flying it, why even show that? You could go anywhere. You could go where they be at, and a lot of time in Nevada? In them places, they could go to the mountains. Why do it in a public area like that? Is it to show authority to nations? Is it like some game that's being played and we don't understand? Because I just don't get why show technology like that. If we have technology like that, why play around? Why even scare people like that? Because there's some people who gonna be terrified. I see Elon rockets, but like I don't know. Oh, I gotta look into Area 12 then. You get me hip. I ain't know you knew. You in Germany. How you know about Area 12?
It's really, really, really important that we stick to the facts.
It was claimed that these infants had been orphaned, abandoned, abused, or were homeless, when actually these were new immigrants. So where did all these infants come from? At the same time as the orphan trains, you had something called the incubator babies. And these were displayed at the world fairs around the United States and first world countries. The bizarre incubator babies were exhibited at the World's Fair, called the Exhibition of the Industry of All
It's a lot of like
at
42.
Bryant Park in New York City from the 14th of July 18.
Hell no. See, I'm not unk, y'all. This young dude is trolling me. I'm only 25. He is trolling me. Do not call me that. Please. Got me feeling old. He gonna wish he looked like me when he my age. And we gonna jump him too, German. We gonna jump him. He really 57. I look good then. I look good for 57.
1853 to the 14th of November 1854. But there were vast numbers of
Bros, Lucas, I tell you, I'm coming down there to Baltimore. It's gonna be off the wire. I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna be off the wire. I keep saying this between you and me and God, nobody else.
the incubator babies that were also shown at other world fairs across mainland Europe and elsewhere on planet Earth.
Okay, let me explain what tensor rings are. You take a piece of metal, and usually they use the Egyptian cubit length, perhaps. It's not a random length, it's a specific length that has energetic properties. And you have 2 copper wires, and you twist them at a 45-degree angle. So you attach that to the wall, and you attach this to a drill, turn the drill on slowly, and then it twists the 2 wires together at a 45-degree angle. And then you bend it into a circle, and you braze it shut, you weld it shut. People wear tensor rings on their wrist, single tensor rings.
Thank you for sending me that video with Elon, you know, doing his thing in the skies.
Or you can compile tensor rings, have 3 or 4 of them together, and then you can create different...
When your mama cook dinner. Because, you know, after I eat a little bit, I might be having a little free time.
Shapes within the ring, and you just set them on the table, and they give off good energy. It's another form of creating energy, like orgone generators.
But she cook us.
I am Olothar Eltharion, one of the 7 sovereign guardians of Tartaria, entrusted with the sacred duty of preserving our civilization's final truths. This message is one of many left by the 7 of us, each a steward of a different fragment of our legacy, united by the urgency of what must endure beyond the destruction we now face.
I was told, you don't know what your mama like. You don't know what your mama like. Oh yeah, bro. It's been a lot of people doing weird stuff. I think I played a video about that about like 4 episodes ago. I think them dudes, I think I know who you talk about.
To you, the seekers of a shattered future, I speak across time itself. Our civilization, once resplendent in harmony and advanced beyond comprehension, has been brought to its knees by adversaries wielding technology.
I hop on with you around like 6.
Is more insidious than any weapon. They have turned the forces of nature itself against us, unleashing devastations that rewrite the earth and erase its memory. But even as they attempt to destroy us, we leave behind the ultimate act of defiance, knowledge. Within the Tartarian manuscripts lies the essence of our existence, the frequencies that resonate with creation itself, the truths that reveal the power hidden within sound. These are not just records, they are tools to unlock the boundless potential encoded within you. These sound waves, refined through lifetimes of mastery, hold the ability to heal, to transform, and to awaken the energy that binds all life. The elite fear this knowledge, for it gives you the power to transcend their control. This message is the beginning of a greater revelation.
That's what they say some of them balloons were. The satellites coming back.
The 7 of us have left these truths scattered but intact, preserved for future generations to uncover. Through the manuscripts, you will find the blueprints of reality itself, a guide to restore the balance and reclaim the legacy stolen from us. Protect these teachings, use them, and ensure the voices of Tartaria echo across the ages. This is not an end, it is a beginning, and it is in your hands now.
The more I There's an alien interview film about to be released. This did slip away from a government facility. I know this film is real. I have the military paper that had me assigned to Area 51. We have Kraft and Beans there. I got it all. Names, dates, photos, videos. One thing I would like to say, please don't cut this out. I just want you to know that today we're going to be poking the hornet's nest.
Okay.
And I hope you're prepared.
people inside the Hollow Earth been living there for 2,500 years. There is one continent inside the Earth and one ocean. Their capital city is built around the original lost Garden of Eden. The vegetation grows like a paradise. The people live to be up to 800 years old. They communicate with telepathy. The inner Earth people have built these androids that fly their flying saucers out to reconnoiter the outer Earth. Our government has been knocking flying saucers out of the sky and back engineering these flying saucers. The people that live in the Hollow Earth are not extraterrestrials. They're from the lost tribes of Israel.
Think this all fake, but I found it very interesting when I saw it a little bit. In this one, I don't know how to explain this.
What the heck was going on here? There is buildings everywhere. Thousands of buildings all around me. There, here. And then these strange round stones again. Looks so ancient. Let's come up these stairs. Oh, the stairs are so big. Can't imagine.
Don't even know.
The kings were feeling back then. Sitting in there.
Maybe Brazil or something. I don't know. I can't even answer that for you.
Look at this.
Why is nobody talking about how this man is a real-life vampire? His name is Brian Johnson, and he is the first human alive to ever successfully reverse his own biological age. Pay close attention while he explains how he did it.
At $2 million a year, a life like this is out of reach for almost everyone.
And this is what I take on a daily basis of supplements. It's alphabetized, and we have a year's supply of everything we do.
It's part of his quest to live forever, which he believes may happen in our lifetime.
He goes on to talk about all of the supplements he takes, so I did some research to find out if any of them have real anti-aging benefits. And that's when I came across this man. This is Chwando Tan, and he is literally 58 years old. He is a celebrity where he's from for looking so young at 58 years old. I figured that him and Brian Johnson had to have something in common, so I did some research and found something crazy. It turns out Chwando takes something that Brian Johnson also takes. It's actually an extremely potent plant extract from a plant dating back to the year 2000 BC. First discovered in northern India, this plant is known as the moringa tree, and it's said to have 87 of the nutrients and antioxidants that the human body needs. In fact, it's already common among the rich community to take this with hopes of staying youthful. Once I found out that both Brian Johnson and Chwando Tan took this, I knew I had to get my hands on some to do some real research when I found out that a bunch of fake brands use filler ingredients to dilute the product to make it not pure moringa. After extensive research, I finally came across a brand that had nothing but 100% pure moringa aloe vera leaf extract, 800 milligrams. In fact, this brand was even EMP certified and third-party lab tested to ensure it had 100% purity, maximum potency, and absolutely zero BS ingredients. The only downside was that because it's such a small brand, it was sold out for over a month. They finally just restocked for the holidays though, and you can get 3 bottles for only $10 each with free shipping and free returns. When I got this stuff, it was $35 for 1 bottle. I'll link this brand right here, and if it's orange, then it means it's still in stock and you're in luck, but I would hurry up because this will not last long.
Things they don't want you to know about the guy who hacked NASA.
Here's your list of charges. You hacked into the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Department of Defense, and NASA, amongst other things. What?
So before Gary McKinnon hacked both NASA, the NSA, and the Pentagon's computers, he had to do a couple test runs. So he tested it on the University of Tennessee, the University of Oxford, and a handful of other different businesses. And his goal was to find suppressed information about UFOs, free energy, and basically anything cool he could find.
I was in search of suppressed technology, you know, laughingly referred to as UFO technology. I think it's the biggest kept secret in the world because of its comic value.
Alright, number 2, Port 139, NASA's biggest vulnerability. So after all the test runs were complete and successful, he reset his computer,
Bill Gates,
lit another joint, and then he was ready to take on the big dogs. So first up, he sets up a script that runs to look for vulnerable ports at the Pentagon. And he ends up finding one, which is port 139. And that port is used to share files between the Pentagon's network, so he gets access to all these different computers. Now, most of the computers do have a password, but he comes across one that doesn't. And it does ask for a password, but he tries something and just clicks log in, and it just logs in without any password. And that's because it was set to default. It's like when you buy a brand new computer, there is no password. Well, this was an admin's computer at the Pentagon that did not set their password. Which leads us to number 3, that the US government at the time had really weak security, because he goes on to find more laptops with blank passwords that are belonging to admins at the Pentagon, the NSA, NASA, it goes on. So now that he made it onto one government computer, step 2 is to install a program called Remote Everywhere. And this will allow him to essentially take over the computer and be able to see its screen on his screen. So he's in the UK, but he can take over a computer in the US. But the catch is, if someone were to come up to the computer that he took over, they would see the mouse moving if he was moving it. So anything that he was doing on the computer that he took over, if someone were to walk up and look at the screen, they could see what he was doing. So he had to be very cautious about not getting caught. So he had a clock that was set to the US time, so he would know kind of the employee's schedule. So he was pretty careful about operating the computers only when he thought that the employees weren't there. And he got away with this for a long time, like literally years. So he starts snooping around, and he's on a search for anything to do with UFOs or free energy. But he doesn't find anything that he's looking for right away. One day while snooping through a computer, he comes across a spreadsheet named Non-Terrestrial Officers, Fleet-to-Fleet Transfers. And according to him, it had all these different names and numbers, but it really didn't make sense to him.
I searched for blank passwords. I wrote a tiny...
Well, I think he did have some he ran in. I think I think he British, I think they might be helping brother out, or I don't know. I can't answer that one for you, but who knows?
Perl script, the Perl language, that tied together other people's programs that search for blank passwords, so you could scan 65,000 machines in just over 8 minutes.
So you went and actually accessed 65,000 machines sitting on, I guess, 65,000 desks in different buildings?
No, because all 65,000 aren't necessarily live yet. You might find typically 5,000 might be live. And out of that, 500 might be Windows machines, then 50 might have blank administrator passwords, which is a pretty bad ratio for the world's largest military.
So was he really even hacking if the computers didn't even have passwords? And what he goes on to find on other computers is the whole reason that the US government, in my opinion, goes after him for like the next 15 years. And there's a strange resemblance.
A lot of people don't know about it, but yeah, I've heard stories since I was in high school that they've been messing with this dude for a long time. What's up, brother?
Something that just got released recently that was not even talked about when that interview took place. And we're going to cover that in part 2.
No, it's just a story that I saw that was very interesting. Basically, yeah, put them together. But I don't know, like he might be charged. Who knows? Like I can't tell you what they did to him, but I saw the story a while ago. It was like in I think I saw it in, was it the New York Times? It was somewhere I saw the story. I read about it. I was like, oh, he's a fool. I just read the headline. Some guy hacked NASA and found some stuff. And then I saw a video a while ago. Somebody was talking about it. I ain't gonna say I got them in the best, arrangement, but I find things. I get people to send me things to where it might hold some relevance, might, intrigue some. No, but I argue all social media is compromised at this point. And in America, they find everything very interesting. I don't even use it. I just use it to like how can I say this? Like if you saw my times on there, like if I show you my watch time, I don't be on there. I just scroll some days when I'm looking for videos, but that's about it. So other than that, like for me, my main source is YouTube, but YouTube is corrupted too. Like you just have to have discernment. No matter where you get information from, you have to have discernment. It's up to you to figure out, is this information real or not? That's why you got to always do your own research, because Instagram compromised, Facebook compromised, no matter where you go. If you're watching CNN, it's compromised. You're watching Fox, it's compromised. It's always ran by somebody that's telling them to push a certain agenda. So no matter where you get the information, it's compromised. So you don't think everything? Like what? Right, but even then you don't know. How would you know? I don't watch Piers Morgan. I don't watch Piers Morgan. I don't watch none of that. Like I tell you, like for me personally, if like I say, if anything, I listen to audiobooks and stuff more than I even watch. I don't watch Piers Morgan. I think he's a fraud. Is he a puppet? That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. But yet again, it's all a game and you got to figure out what game is being played. That's why I put these together, regardless if I get them from TikTok, some I get from Instagram, some I get from. Yeah, but you could say that about Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? He bring on some good guests. It's just you got, like for me, what I do is I just listen to what people say and try to understand. I think I know who you talking about. If this the same guy you talking about, I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think that first guy you talking about, for me personally, I don't trust him. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but yet again, you copyright stuff. I gotta try to email him to see how much stuff I could use. No, this guy, I don't know about this guy. The Hassan guy, I'm not hip to him. I thought that was somebody else. And Bassam, I think I'm not him. I'll be honest with you. I don't know about him. He said some things that, per me personally, I totally disagree with. But yet again, I'm not there with all the information like how he has information. Yeah, I was thinking of him. I was like, once you say him, I was like, oh, this man. I was like, no, but that Bassam, I don't know, bro. I saw him say some stuff. Like the thing that lost me about him when he said that, like, for example, people have a problem thinking Egypt could have been occupied by different people. It wasn't just whoever. It was Egypt could have been occupied by different people at different times. So we really don't know who constructed the pyramids. Yeah, yeah. Theo Von, I see him too. Like I say, you could say I look at Eddie Bravo too, but like I say, if I just had to like I go in there, bro, like let me just go on my YouTube real quick. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I'll probably look at like right now, like Joe Rogan dropped some Tarantino stuff, care less about it. I might look at something to do with like LeBron or something. If he do something, I'll watch the highlight here and there because he at the tail end of his career used to be my favorite basketball player. Don't watch basketball players no more. I listen to my dude Shannon Sharp. Like, I don't know. I just be different stuff. I love creepy pastas. I listen to creepy pastas. I got this thing called I think it's called give me a second. I watched a network. It's called Alter. I like strange things, man. Like I say, when it come to people, I don't know you to take you at your word. Like, no disrespect. Everything y'all say, I don't know y'all. I've never sat in a room with none of y'all. I take what y'all say and be like, okay, it's a possibility. I weigh it. I'll be like, I think brother's right. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I just take the information, hold on to it, play with it without whatever, right? And then I say, okay, is it true or not? And even then I just move on. I'll be like, okay, I already went over that. But Like I say, I'm a different type of guy. This random called Jay Rogan. You see on see, I gotta look. It's like this dude on YouTube. I look at OG Dre and my dude Mod Tricker. I look at them time for time. So a lot of the people over there, like last 2 to 3 years, some of the people that they show, I look at some of the posts that they post. But like I say, I only going into when I'm making a video. Like if I'm not making a video, I'll rarely be on TikTok. I'll be on YouTube watching like comic explain. I'm a big comic head. Like a lot of the BS, bro, I'll be honest with you, I barely be into. I haven't probably the last Joe Rogan episode I sat and watched, like really watched, I think was the one where Terrence Howard was getting debated by somebody, this guy. But other than that, that's about it. Yeah, I used to watch Cash Nasty Flight Reacts. See, that's more like, see, I don't like getting too deep with like stuff sometimes because I don't know what your agenda is, you know? Oh, I love boxing. I got a whole like playlist on YouTube with boxing. I look at Asmongold Gold. I like Asmongold Gold because I game. Like right now I'm playing Path of Exile. So I'd rather be more concerned about some of that than some other stuff sometimes. I really, to be honest with you. But I think the greatest MMA fighter of all time, John Jones.
McPhee, former Delta Force operator, amazing war fighter, a storied career at the unit. He was my boss. John was a force. He's one of those guys in garrison. He is not a fun human to work for. He's definitely not one that you want as your personal mentor about how to be a good human, but you put John McPhee in a case in glass that says break in case of war or violence, and you break that, he is one of the greatest war fighters to like walk during GWOT. We were a hammer in that first deployment. Every night, as we moved forward, I would sit there all night long with a thermal imager.
That's all it takes is the one, agreed.
Flash rounds into every heated body on the battlefield. I did it every night for 8 hours, a couple hundred rounds a night. Shit. The only one that could shoot out with these RG-33s with the Crow's amazing targeting system. What we didn't have was a lot of ammo. So the Crows has thermal. They'd be able to spot a target. I would lay and they'd give me an azimuth and a distance and direction, right? And with distance and direction, I'd kind of PID the body and then I would dump a couple of rounds in it.
Oh my God, here we go. Here it is.
Now, and look how big that is. Like it was my dude B-Dale. That never happened. I ain't even gonna fake to you. I that maybe 5-10 years ago, but right now I think hell nah. I think Hamzat would just nah. That's disrespectful. That's like I don't even know how to like. That's like a crime. Even debating that, brother. You dangerous. But my dude B-Dale said the other day about this video. And it had me thinking, how do we know these ships aren't like doing frequencies in the area and like making people see stuff or changing their minds? I know it sounds crazy because he young. Hamzat is a different animal. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you said maybe 5 to 15 years ago, I would probably agree. And I'm gonna whoop you. But I would agree. But nah, you trying to murder my guy. You think so? It might be. It might be. I got to get in one or see it up close. I don't even know how big it is. Who's the best boxer of all time? Me? Shoot. But if I had to pick, I'd say Mike or Ali. But that's hard. It just depends on what we're talking about. No, John Jones. He too old, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like my dude is over. He too young, too aggressive, too wild. Like that's not gonna happen. John is going. That's why I said right. You giving a matchup that's going. Hell no. It's up. Like that's not even a fair fight right now. Like now, if you said John Jones probably like a 2008, 2010, yeah, but not no John Jones now. I think Roy Jones is one of the greatest talents, just like physically. But skills he had, like he knew the fundamentals of boxing, but he was unique to himself. You couldn't replicate it. It's like I give an example of myself, right? Like I believe moving at 242, not too many people would be able to move with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, just if you watch the video at 242, even if we watch Usyk, he way lighter than me. They not moving like, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Them guys is who they are, but you know, some people just physically different. Talking about Prince Al-Rashid. Not Prince Al-Rashid. What's his name? Yeah, he got his son box. Joe Frazier, left hand Joe. Sometimes it only take one punch and you could beat everybody.
You're kidding me right now. What is that?
Shit. No, agreed. Like he, and I think for the heavy, but for me personally, I don't think he faster than me or stronger than me. You know, now if you talk about mass, like I think I could beat Usyk. Like how Daniel Dubois, I seen what Daniel Dubois did. Styles make fights. I don't think Usyk could do. I hurt Usyk. I seen how me personally. I think I hurt him. Like it'd be he'd never box again. Like I ain't even trying to be disrespectful. He'd never box again. Like the way I hit him, bro. He'd have a long day. I tell you that. I love to fight him though, but I believe I could beat him. I really personally believe I could beat. Yeah, Nassim. Yes, sir. You got it right. I got a drone like that. Hell no. Time will tell, you know. Once I get cleared, I'll be back. I get cleared, we'll be back, and all I've been doing is sharpening up the tool set. I've been just grinding. So we'll be back. Bro, you in the script, bro. Leave the script alone. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I know one thing, no disrespect, when I drag him in them deep ends, he don't know what it is. There's some people in life, bro, that it's things that I've been through that Usyk never been through. So it's just one of them things. Let's just go look at my YouTube. Go on my YouTube, look at some of my videos. And I know, yeah, you hitting the bag, but I've been injured. And I've been waiting on a heart specialist for 2 years. So I had to have patience. And one thing I know, no disrespect, it ain't no man stronger than me. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to hurt him. I've hurt people. I've hurt people bigger than me. I always been strong. You know, stamina impeccable. You know, no disrespect. I got God with me too. So it's just one of them things. Like at the end of the day, time would tell. And he too old. Now, if you talk about maybe a young stallion, but he too old. He ain't. No disrespect. Like Bob Arum said, they don't let people fight black fighters for a reason. Too athletic, brother. That's all I'm gonna say right then and there. Too athletic. It'd just be a long day for him. Yeah, I believe I'm skilled too, and I'm doing things he not doing. We see what Tyson Fury did. Tyson Fury was big, strong, and what happened? Then, man, they not hitting like that, bro. It's just a different animal. That's light work. That's light work. All I'm gonna say is I was there when Jake Paul sparred some people in Cleveland. I was there. Easy work. I'm not, like I said, I have a harder time with Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, George Foreman than I do with any great heavyweight today. They all like, it's only a few of them that you could really be like, okay, give you a run for the money. Like, I think Luis Ortiz would give me a harder fight than Usyk or Tyson Fury ever will. Just me personally. I just don't, I look at them, they skillful, but they like, you got all the skills in the world, but if you ain't putting out no damage, that ain't gonna do nothing. Because I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hurt you. It's just what that's gonna be. It's not gonna be pretty. No, I ain't fighting. He too little. He too little. Like I wouldn't even, Conor McGregor in the different, that's a different weight class. I don't even know. I'll be honest with you. Little guys, I stay away from. I had harder times with like little guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Them little dudes that tee your ass up. It's just different. It's just a different time. I fought one of these dudes I used to spar. He used to be Olympian. His name Tiger Johnson. Some people just move different, bro. It's just what that is. Oh, I'm talking about boxing. I box. I don't do MMA. We talking about MMA. Now, if you talking about the streets, I'm undefeated. I want to drop this video of me fighting so bad, but I just don't think it's appropriate. I just don't think it's because, you know, at the end of the day, it'll feed my ego because I don't got no traction. There'd be people like that. Like, I know don't believe in a brother. So I'd be want to drop some footage, but I'd be like, then they going to be like, well, that was a nobody. I'm like, but he used to box. He used to be nice in this city. So I don't know. You know, it's just one of them things you just got. Time will tell all. Khabib, would I spar him? I wouldn't spar him, but I would love to learn from him. And once I get to a point, I learn from him and I feel like I understand, especially the wrestling game. Oh, hell yeah, I spar him. But I need to come in I'm not that guy like that in MMA. I boxed for almost 3.5 years. And my little cousin, he a pro boxer. I've been around boxing for a very long time. I'm not no novice in it. Now am I as consistent as I should have been when I was around it, but I just didn't have the resources to do it. But I've been around boxing a lot. No, I know. I want to do MMA when I first started, but the MMA gym that's in my city is straight about dollars. They not really trying to develop fighters. It's about money. Where I'm at, Stipe go to. And I went up there and I sparred one of their guys in boxing, gave him the business. And that's why I was just like, you know what? At this point, I'm not going to pay for a class because I feel like I'm not learning nothing here. And then that's why I made the shift to boxing. No, I love them all. Like probably right now, besides John Jones, Alex Pereira is my favorite fighter outside of John Jones.
Every time I have something to say, he's disconnecting me.
Now you talk about somebody that's a fraud. I hate to say this. I got love for my guy Billy Carson, but sometimes I don't know if people about money or truth. I tell you that, but I think time will always tell. And from what I've seen, I think he's about money.
Him literally disconnecting his video manually, and only one time I got to ask a couple of questions. I could see him on his screen on ChatGPT trying to look for the answer real quick.
Every time you tell me something, I figure that you're lying.
In the Bible, you have the gods are Enlil, and who's also known as Yahweh in the Bible.
Yeah,
and you also have Amen Ra, the great Amen. He's, when you say the Lord's Prayer, that's Enki's prayer.
Would I spar him? Yeah. See, it's certain guys, like, I'll be honest with you, I don't look at a Demetrius Johnson and get the fire that I would get if you told me to fight John Jones. You see what I'm saying? Because one, I like John Jones, admire him, but at the same time, I want to show you I'm better and I could beat you. You get what I'm saying? I just believe, bro, you got it. I ain't had no parents. So I go into fights and different things with things on my shoulder. I've been abused. Motherfucker, you been comfortable. You don't know what uncomfortable is. You don't know what it is to be me. You don't know what it is to live through these circumstances and feel the things that I feel. So let's play. You know what I mean? And the best man may win. It depends on where I'm at in my life, man. I don't know, bro. I would say take the dive, but then my pride, like, hell no, we gonna die today. Right now I'm 242, heavyweight.
Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us our daily bread, blah, blah, blah. That's Ptah's prayer, who's also known as
Buster Douglas didn't even have that fire. He had that fire for one night. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference. He just, yet again, styles make fights. Like, that's one reason I want to do MMA, because I'm like, okay, why if you run into somebody who just better at the hands than you, they just might have the physical skill set, right? But at the same time, I'm just going to put up the guard and I figure something out. If I got to walk you down, smother you and hurt you, it's just going to be what it be. It might not look pretty, but I'm going to make sure I win.
Enki, yeah, Enki.
I think the kindest way I can put this is nonsensical. I don't know a better way to put it. Enlil is the Sumerian god of the air, okay? It's not Yahweh. While it is true that later Mesopotamian lore incorporated Enlil and worshipped him as the king of the gods, he's firmly one of a pantheon of ancient Near Eastern gods who are worshipped by the Mesopotamians. Yahweh, on the other hand, is the god of the
BBL Drizzy, for sure.
monotheistic faith of Judeo-Christianity. And there are two prayers that I think Billy could be talking about here. And so one is the prayer of Enki for Ashurbanipal, but it reads like this. Here, I pulled some up for you. Okay, so it's
And one of my followers, shout out to her, if they make it to the end of this video, she told me Billy Carson was a fraud. He told me, and I apologize. I ain't say nothing. I just said I don't know, but she told me, so she was right. I give it to her. Roberto, the hands of stone. Salvador Sanchez was a bad man. Look into him. He was a bad man before he. I study, brother. I study all the. You gotta understand. I want to be so great. I mimic greatness. I watch nothing but greatness. I be pedaling 10 miles a day, watching nothing but pure greatness within them 25 to 30 minutes. So I know my history a bit.
as Ashurbanipal, great king.
Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge, you got to look into it. Great guy, I think, when it comes to certain things, but I think the problem lies is he just don't want to admit that he was wrong. Sometimes we wrong, sometimes we misspeak. Like if Usyk beat me, I would come back here and say, hey, he was the better man that night. You was right. Hey, I'm gonna be honest. That don't mean I can't believe in myself and have an opinion. No, I mean, if I would say it, hell yeah. I tell you this, Kobe is the one that sparked me back in 2017, 2018. He gave me a spark. I watched that Black Mamba documentary, and ever since then, I realized I don't work hard enough. And that's why I work out like I do. How many boxers you know be in the gym for 8 hours? 8 hours. I was in there. I did 40 miles on the bike one day. I average probably like 2 to 8 miles. I mean, 2 to 8 hours in the gym. I'm dedicated to the craft, and you got to think about it. I might not even box again because of my heart, but I don't let that stop me. I say I'm gonna stay ready so I don't have to get ready. You see what I'm saying? Once this doctor in my mind signed off on it, I'm coming straight for Usyk, but he gonna go back down. You know he ain't gonna want that smoke because I'm not Daniel Dubois. I'm not Daniel Dubois. I will knock him out. I believe that.
King, mighty king, king of the world, king of Assyria, king of the 4 quarters of the world, king of kings, prince who has no rival, who by the command of the gods, Ashur, Shamash, and Marduk, who rules over the upper sea to the lower sea, and has subjugated all rules, who provides...
I apologize, y'all. Sometimes I get real passionate. I don't mean no disrespect to nobody. I get a little passionate. I get real deep. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to keep it at the surface level. No, I'm currently amateur, but they trying to make me professional. Riddick Bowe, some of Riddick Bowe people want me to come out to DC and spar and stuff and see me, and they want to try to sign me. But like I said, I haven't got cleared yet, so I haven't been able to make that detour. I've interacted with Jerron Booth and his father, Bozy. Bozy wanted me to come to Philly, but I did something dumb. My little cousin dad, third cousin dad, his dad is a heavyweight champion, so he wanted to work with me, but I found out he was BS. See, boxing is a very sticky game, brother. It's a lot of people in there that tell you anything, and a lot of times it's just navigating these tainted waters. It's really just a lot of just BS. I'll tell you that.
Butler to the gods as Esagil, the palace of Marduk, and the spouse of the gods, whose doorbell
That's the reason I'm trying to find another coach. My coach retired. So I've been trying to find another situation. I went to a situation that these guys wasn't it. They was frauds. Cause like when I went in there and worked, like they was talking about you the hardest worker in here. When I left my gym, I wasn't the hardest worker. It was other workers who I felt worked harder than me. Like I don't like to have a team and I'm the smartest person on there. I'd rather be the dumbest person. I want to learn. I want to be the best version. If I'm the best boxer in the gym, there's something wrong here to me. I don't want to be the best in the gym. I want to grow to be the best. I want to work to be the best. I want to learn to be the best. That's just me though. That's just me. I'd rather you be better than me so I have a goal and I could be better. I could learn. I could help you be better. And then we both could be there. You know what I mean?
Made glisten like the stars, and the firmament who repairs the damaged parts of their sanctuaries, who establishes my protection over the cult centers, whose deeds are pleasing to all the gods, and whose shepherdship is sweet in the black-headed people. May Enki make my enemy's name and his descendants disappear from the lands, and have no pity on them. Does that sound like the Lord's Prayer? No. Okay. So the other potential candidate is Enkidu's prayer in the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah, the dude, I believe he got hit in the back of his head. I think I know you talking about. Yeah, I feel bad for him. But that's what happens, man. You gotta protect yourself at all times. In boxing, any combat sport, anything you step in as violence, you gotta understand you might not walk out the same. That's why I train how I train, because my goal in there is not, I could go 12 rounds. I could go 12 rounds, but I'm not training for 12 rounds. I train to get your ass out of there quick, because I'm not here to play with you. Like my mind, you trying to hurt me, take me out of this existence. Like I say, everybody mentality a little different. And I keep to myself because I think I'm crazy, you know, just a little bit, a little madness. Like I would face the devil himself, and I know you'll laugh at it, but I don't care. Like I'm really, like I've been out here by myself since 11 years old, bro. So I by myself figuring it out, ran into situations, people putting weapons in my face, and I ain't talking about no knives. I'm talking about big weapons, and I walk you down. It's a few, bruh. If my girl was here, she'd tell you I'm crazy, bruh. That's why I be in the house. She get me in the house. I don't do security no more because I do not play with you. I'm not on that time, bruh. I just move different. I move at a different beat. You know, my heart I just different. You know what I mean? This is what it is. Maybe I've been hit in the head too many times. Who knows?
Prayer is a request for Shamash, the Mesopotamian god, to visit him in a dream and
Nah, my goal is all of y'all, I want y'all to be better than me so I could work hard to be, so I had something to chase. You see what I'm saying? I don't get it wrong. I want the best. Like I hope, Lucas, you young, you might grow up and be better than me. And like I say, if you better than me or you got something going on that I didn't have going on, give a brother a job. I'm not too beneath a job, especially if it pay right. Just make sure to pay right. Your boy, you'll be there.
Him favorable omens. None of this is even analogous to Enki's prayer. I don't know where Billy is getting this from. Friends, there is nothing even remotely analogous to the Lord's Prayer in any of these ancient examples. Also, Ptah,
we all motivate each other.
The Egyptian god of creation, and Enki,
like I say, you learn. Like for me, I learned to turn my pain into passion. Like I learned how to turn the pain of losing my parents, being abused, feeling like I ain't nothing, you know, dealing with the fact that I'm a copper man in America. It's so much things that for me, just feeling inadequate, inferior, just so many things that I use it. And when I go to that place trying to achieve something, I remember all that. And I say, you know what? We're going to take this energy and we're going to turn to good energy. I don't care. I don't care how you feel, champ. You want to be the greatest? We got to put in the work. Everything take a step at a time, a day at a time. Be consistent and all shall plan and work out. That's just me. That's just my mindset. And if it don't, I did what I could do. You know what I mean? But I don't even think like that. I just, no matter what, I'm gonna be great, and we gonna do great things together. That's the whole objective. I'm gonna put us all there. All those that roll with me, support me, because there's a lot of people who don't support me, and I understand why. You probably envious, jealous of me, or just a watcher. Either way, I take that, and I'm gonna keep pushing. That's why I say, everybody, I appreciate y'all just talking to me. Y'all been in here 2 hours messing with me. Well, I ain't even get my family to do that. So at the end of the day, besides, you know, my girl and my son, but other than that, I salute y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Who is the Sumerian god of the
y'all probably like, he pausing again. But my goal, I want to be like Willy Wonka. Now, everybody that loved me, supported me, been there for me, talked to me, I'm gonna give you a golden ticket.
Creation. They have similar roles within their respective societies, but neither the Egyptians would have thought of Ptah as Enki, nor the Sumerians thought Enki was Ptah.
Well then, hopefully my YouTubians, y'all liked everything that I put out today. Hopefully my Twitchers, we you know, we had some good convos in there. You know, people mediated things, they feelings, and I'm just glad that we was able to move on without somebody coming in and, you know, being a mediator, that y'all both understood each other perspectives, respected one another, no disrespect, and we could just continue to move on. And please, in the Discord, for the new guy that's in there, if you got some videos, send to me. If you think I ain't got it right, send them to me. Get me right. Help your brother out. You only know what you know. So we gonna catch you on the next episode. Peace and blessings to everybody that's new stars. Please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time.